Hey guys, and welcome to another King of the Hill. I believe this is King of the Hill number 9, so we're quite deep now into doing King of the Hills, and they've been super good fun so far, so we're back today with another one. Now we have a very cool list of players. We have Noob for Life coming up against Stormrunner in round 1, then we have Poison Ducky soaring in on his duck-like wings to try and claim the throne, before Consul Rome marches with the might of Rome to try and take what is rightfully his. The Scourge of the West and Suave hop in their late game to try and steal that crown, and we still have space for one more player as well. Unfortunately, we did have the mighty and legendary warrior Ronin playing in the list, but he can't make it unfortunately anymore, so instead, if you want to be a challenger, please do let me know. So let's invite our boys into the game. Noob for Life and Stormrunner. There we go. And we'll get this started. Of course, the first map will be Troll Country. While I think about it, let's quickly set up a scoreboard, just so we can keep track of who the current king is. So, of course, the idea of these streams, as always, is to try and get the longest win streak and also be king at the end of the stream. Let's pop this in properly, actually. King of the Hill. Start the little timer, so hopefully something magical happening. And add in Noob for Life, who is a bit of a veteran up on the channel. Certainly no noob as well, so please do not let that fool you. And Stormrunner coming in as well, who's actually a DBD clanmate, which is very, very cool. So let's hop in and wait for these guys to join. Should be some good fun. What's up, Palpatine? Troll Country, the all-time start. It is indeed. It's kind of a tradition on the channel now to start King of the Hills off on Troll Country. It looks like Noob for Life has hopped in here. Just going to check Discord quickly. If you want an easy meal, I can be reserved. Cool. So Pacta, I'm just going to add you to the list, my dude. Pacta and Darth. So, just need to message on Discord quick. Darth. Number 7. Just sorting out the last few contenders. Cool, so we're now adding Darth to the list and as well Pacta, just because we're going to try and get him in, because normally he unfortunately misses the King of the Hills. Game was good. Yo! Looks like these guys are all good. What did you think of the dwarf build, Noob? Okay, I think these guys just played to test out their internet connection. It looks like we're all good to roll. I know a cool map for you, Fall of Man. We may try that later. I've got a feeling it's going to be a bad map, but we will give it a go, certainly. Blind picks, lads. Cool. And we'll get this side. How are you guys all today? Hope you're all doing well. And quarantined as well to the guidelines, of course, of whatever country you're in. I'm apparently an essential worker, which is quite nice. Makes you feel quite important, but at the same time I'm still kind of living my life as the usual, going to work and so forth. Cool. Darth saying I'm a level 1 duck. For some reason, it's hilarious, but everyone's on my Discord has changed their name to something duck-based. So we've got Pacta coming in here, who's going to be number 8 on the list, who's now Ductor. And Stormrunner has changed name to Storm Duck, which is quite funny. So we're all back here. Flame Cannon wasn't worth it. Flame Cannons are always worth it. I have some cool Flame Cannon replays actually up and running. It's a lot better than people think it is. Well, we will certainly try out this stream. Should be some good fun. So let's wait for these guys to drop us our blind picks. So they're just discussing their previous game. Check on Discord, see if they've messaged me on there. Not yet. House 6. Cool. So I just sorting stuff out on Discord quickly as someone did drop, so there's a bit of confusion of who's playing where and so forth. But the list is as follows. Noob for Life up against Stormrunner in this first game. Then we have Poison Ducky, Consul of Rome, Scourge of the West, which is such a badass name, Suave, Darth, and Pacta. Send blind picks, please. So normally the king will be picking a faction and banning 2. Unless he wins 2 games in a row, then we're going to make it a little bit more uncomfortable for him, and he has to pick and ban just 1 faction. But for the first game, of course, as there is currently no king, we are going to be doing blind picks. I have no need to change my name. That is indeed true, Poison Ducky. I'm still not a duck. Scourge of the Ducks? Duck of the West. Duck of the West sounds fantastic. Cool, looks like I have the blind picks. So we have Chaos and... Oh no! 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 Why do they do this to me? Why do you do this? No! Okay, so New for Life plus Stormrunner both going Warriors of Chaos. So... interesting life decisions here by both players. We are getting a bit of a chaos off, so we have a mirror match to start with, which is quite funny. Duck of the Ducks, Papa Palpatine, indeed, the almighty lord of all duck kind. Come on. Which is, I'll switch to TTT if must be. Nah, it's fine. There's not even a sub for Chaos. It's fine, it's fine, I'm down. I am down to see a bit of duck on duck action. Chaos Mirror needs 2 Mirror Guard. If they don't bring Mirror Guard, I'm going to be highly upset with both of these players right here. But we will see. That's fine. It's cool, man. I'll survive. Need to make sure my friend's good. Is Chaos good now? I feel like Chaos have always been okay. Like, kind of in the middle. Just chilling out. Doing their best. They're quite aggressive faction. I feel they're actually not too bad for new players to learn, as they're quite forgiving. They've got a lot of tough infantry and so forth, and they kind of just work as a big fat hammer, basically. You don't have to worry too much about protecting back lines and so forth, unless you are bringing hell cannons. They've got a decent amount of skirmish, cav, infantry, some monsters as well. So I think they're quite a good faction. But still, it's going to be good fun. Do it. Do it, Scourge. Do it. Chaos is better than most think. Yeah, I would say that. I would say they're maybe slightly underrated. But I will have a challenge for you guys set at the end of the stream as well, so make sure you stick around for that. And please remind me. But me and Alistair Damos have had a discussion recently about a certain Wood Elf unit, so I have a challenge for you guys coming up, which should be some good fun. And while these guys do pick their army, I want to give you guys a massive thank you as well. My latest video has done incredibly well, so I want to thank you guys for the support. It's got over 2,500 views, I think, as we speak, and it's a video I don't normally do. It was a reaction video and kind of a review and so forth of the possibility of 40k Warhammer Total War, and of a fan-made film some guy had created, like, masterfully well done as well. So thank you for the support, guys. It's not what I normally do, but still, I appreciate you guys checking it out. I want bird versus big bird action. Nothing like a bit of bird on bird, eh, Palpatine? Can High Elves play wide rush semi-kite build like Dark Elves can? You can certainly do it. If it's going to be successful or not is another matter. I mean, you can bring Shadow Warriors, they're quite good at skirmishing, you even have a Laven Reavers. You can do a lot of hit and run. You can go certainly skirmish cav build with High Elves, I feel, with a hit and run tactics and just harass. And you might have seen recently, actually, in a couple of other people's streams and so forth, I've been rocking the Rohirrim High Elf builds, which I'll have a replay out very, very shortly on the channel, which I'm currently having to hold back, but it will be released shortly. Which should be all good. And there will actually be a surprise as well, video tomorrow, which normally doesn't happen because I actually work on Tuesdays. But I'll be recording a video after this stream that is going to get put up because I need to do it in a certain time order. But it's a very exciting video anyway, so check out for that as well. Should be some good fun. Now, I would normally talk about what I would bring in this type of matchup. Normally I go over both armies, but Chaos vs Chaos, not a battle I ever really played because you don't really ever play mirror matches online and so forth. I normally just switch away from them, but it should be some good fun. Let's watch Chaos spawn slap each other. That is what we're here for. That is what Total War Warhammer represents deep down, is a horrific kind of abominations of nature smacking other abominations of nature. So it should be some good fun. Cool, cool. They're just sorting that all out. I'm just going to double check my Discord, make sure everything got resolved as far as playing order. Looks like we're all good. So once again, just go over it quickly for anyone who has joined late. We are doing a King of the Hill today. Winner stays on with the idea, try and get the longest streak possible, or trying to end as king. So if you start a bit earlier on in the stream, you have a better chance of securing objective 1. But if you start later on, you have a better chance of just snatching that crown at the death. And the list is Noob for Life versus Stormrunner up in this first game here. Then we have Poison Ducky soaring on his mighty duck wings into battle. Then we have Consul of Rome, Scourge of the West, Suave, Darth, and Pacta. So guys, if you are playing today, make sure you are ready to hop on as quickly as possible. As on a little bit of a time limit today, but it should be all fine. It should be all good. Elves don't have mobile missile damage dealers like Dark Riders and Crossbows. That is a problem. Reavers are okay against lightly armoured foes and so forth, but yeah, you need the hit and run of like Dragon Princes or Silver Helms to get that cycle charging if you want to go for more of a skirmish approach, as they're kind of, your hard-hitting damage dealers. Perhaps a Dragon as well can also pay dividends. Looks like Stormrunner is ready. Says good luck, have fun, which is always good to see. Sportsmanship is valued very highly on the channel, and it also gets you invited to more events and so forth. And if you want to play in King of the Hills tournaments, or just generally chat to a load of cool people, feel free to join my Discord. There's a link just down below in the description. And a very friendly bunch, and always happy to have a nice chat. So good to see as many people in there as possible. Troll Country, the map of maps. I'm very excited to see what people bring today. I am very excited. Haven't seen on this list play for a while. Most people I've seen play in recent streams. Haven't seen Scourge of the West in a King of the Hill for a couple of episodes yet, so good to see him back as well. And Darth as well will be making his debut on the channel. Darth is not to be confused with Darth Pendragon. We have two different Darths. I have no idea what happened, but Archaon is actually the strongest Lord pick for Chaos. Kolic is underwhelming for me. Ooh, controversial decisions there. Kolic is considered by some to be incredibly powerful. However, I do quite like Archaon myself. He's a fantastic character assassin. He destroys single entities, heroes, lords, and all of that when you pop Slayer of Kings and all that good stuff. And as the full adult I am, going to be having a little sip of my Capri Sun. We all know Capri Suns are for men, manly men. And of course, ducks as well. We load it in. I'm excited, honestly. I haven't done a King of the Hill in a little while. We did the doubles one, which was good fun. We had some problems as well with connecting and stuff, which can happen when you have so many players try and connect. But it looks like we're all good. I always look for the flying units, and you can kind of tell the lag from there. So the Blue Warriors of Chaos, led by Noob for Life here, looks like we have a very interesting army indeed. So we have some Marauders with great weapons, mixed in with basic Chaos Marauders. We have one set of Mirror Guards. That's one down. We need a unit on the other side as well. We have then just more Chaos Marauders into the sunset, it looks like. So pretty flimsy front line overall. Just a couple of Marauders, some great weapons, and Mirror Guard mixed in. So the rest of his money has gone to this massive, fast-moving core. So we have Chaos Knights with Lances, mixed in with Marauder Horsemen as well, all the way into the sunset. We have some Chaos Warhounds of Poison. A giant! A Chaos Giant! I haven't seen one of these in forever. Normally you always see the Shagoffs and so forth, so interesting to see this guy in action. Very cool model as well. I honestly can't think of the last time I saw this guy. Up in the sky, we do have a Chaos Feral Manscore, who's going to be assisted here by an Exalted Hero on Manscore, who's much more powerful combatant in general. Down for his leadership core, we do have a Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows here. I'm assuming bringing the Pendulum. So we do have indeed the Pendulum and Enfeebling Foe, nice competitive pick. And we have Prince Sigvald the Magnificent. Look at him in his glory. Probably going to be rolling dirty with his legendary Mirror Guard. Of course, they would protect him with their lives. And he's going to be super tanky to snipe out. Won't do too much damage himself, but overall pretty nice. I'm liking a lot of Stormrunner stuff here as well. Not sure how effective it's going to be, but we'll have to wait and see. So we have some Marauder Horsemen with Throne Axes for the red Chaos here, led by Stormrunner. In the front line, we have Chaos Marauders mixed in with Aspiring Champions here. They're certainly helping out to try and buff these Marauders up and allow them to punch a little harder. And they've gone for it. We have a second unit of Mirror Guard. I pray these guys... Oh, God, dear God. We have Mirror Guard and Prince Sigvald as well, rolling dirty with his Mirror Guard on this side. These guys have to meet in glorious combat, surely. We also have a couple of units of Chaos Warriors with Halberds, assisted in the back here by Chaos Trolls. What is happening? What year are we currently descended in? What other dark realities? This is the darkest timeline for sure. We have Chaos Trolls armoured with silver chevrons. a Soul of Damnation Hell Cannon as well. Can do some decent long-range damage, but there's no perfect targets, unfortunately, apart from those Mirror Guard. We also have a Sorcerer here, looks like of metal, surely. Yeah, coming in with the metal. We have Forbidden Rod, Final Transmutation, Plague of Rust, and Searing Doom. We also have some Chaos Warhounds of Poison, assisting those Marauders with throwing axes. Now, my one fear for Stormrunner's army here is it's just going to get kited into infinity with the Marauder Horsemen, who will slowly pick down the Trolls and those key targets. They will be dragged in by the Hell Cannon, but I think the mobility game is certainly in favour of Noob for Life and the Blue Chaos for now, and it's going to be really hard to shut down that fast kind of mobility force. But it's going to be interesting. If you can keep the Hell Cannon firing for long enough, it can certainly do some decent damage, and those Mirror Guard are probably going to be the ones to suffer, unfortunately, for them. Going to be good fun. Going to be good fun. Let's see. Looks like Noob for Life is ready. We'll see what's popped in. Mouse is hopping a little bit, but hopefully that will sort itself out. What do you guys think of these armies? Double Sigvald, double Mirror Guard indeed. Sigvald has a 100% win record in this matchup. That is indeed true. So let's see. Hell Cannon has popped boom, giving it that 25% explosion and 20% armor piercing explosion as well. And let's track this beautiful shot, probably going straight into these poor Mirror Guard. And bam, taking some huge losses straight out of the gate there as well, losing 9 of their troops. But they're back up on their feet. Nothing too devastating yet, as Marauder Horsemen do rally forth. Thronax is trying to push out as well with the help of Chaos Warhounds of Poison, but in come the Knights and more Poison Hounds as well. This is certainly going to be a losing battle here for the Red Chaos Forces, and very wisely they start to fall back, which I think is the correct move. You can see on the other flank, these poor Thronaxes probably going to be sacrificed to the great Manticore gods of old, as they're going to get dragged down here, unfortunately. Hell Cannon, though, getting some really decent value onto those Mirror Guard, who are running directly at the opposing Mirror Guard, with just a few aspiring champions in the way, who normally they'd be able to dumpster quite quickly, but they are taking it a little bit of a beating. Nice overload on this right-hand flank by Noob for Life, crushing those Marauder Horsemen and dragging out some Chaos Trolls. These guys need to pull back, though. They don't want to be dragged into the skirmish game. Definitely need to be used in the front line. More damage coming in on the Mirror Guard, down to about half health. And in the distance, you can see, unfortunately, some Marauder Horsemen have been driven off there for the Red Chaos Forces, which could be pretty disastrous here, as they certainly need those guys in an attempt to hold back this huge, fast-moving core of the Blue Chaos. In come the Trolls and the Halberds as well, saturate on top, but they're only going to be beating down Chaos Marauders, so not getting too much value here. Unfortunately, the Mirror Guard are getting absolutely decimated on this flank, as Chaos Warriors with Halberds as well pop in. Doing a decent job, though. Both Prince Sigvalds are in here, and the Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows is getting beat up pretty badly. Hell Cannon still active as well, and doing some decent damage, up to 36 kills. Only a Wizard protecting, though. These Manticores certainly need to fly back here now, and pick apart this basically free target. I feel like a fat transmutation is probably due here, coming down in a second. Let's have a little look. Yep, big final transmutation coming down, doing some huge damage, and that Chaos Giant has got himself in a little bit of a pickle here, surrounded by Trolls who are slowly going to beat him down, as we have a glorious duel here of Prince Sigvald fighting Prince Sigvald. And to be honest, who else could pull down such a mighty warrior as they go toe-to-toe, swinging and slashing as their Mirror Guards desperately try to protect whichever is their own lord, if they themselves even know. Looks like the backline's starting to be overrun. Exalted Champion almost managing to beat down this Chaos Sorcerer of Metal instead of going after the Hell Cannon here. Chaos Trolls rallying back to pursue, though. Unfortunately, these Marauder Horsemen are going to get such great value, there's nothing left to really chase them down, as the Exalted Hero now comes flying in and attempt to deal with these Trolls. Not a bad idea, getting some decent Cycle Charger in their back to try and break their relatively low leadership. However, we do have Chaos Pharaoh Manticore in combat here with Chaos Warriors with Halberd, certainly not where he wants to be, and the Stormrunner's Prince Sigvald is actually winning the main fight. But as for the rest of the battle, complete map dominance here by Noob for Life and the Blue Chaos Warriors. Although that Hell Cannon still active, still doing some decent damage, even though it is only into Chaos Marauders. Looks like the Knights, though, nope, they're not going to come down and shut down the Hell Cannon. They're going to keep trying to break these forces, do a decent number on these Trolls, and probably try and chase them off the battlefield, which could be a really clutch play here. But Prince Sigvald going to town here against each other, as he does try and turn his back and flee whilst getting cut to ribbons by more and more Mirror Guard. That's a shameful display there by Prince Sigvald, but it looks like he's going to manage to escape here, abandoning his Chaos Giant ally who has been forced off. Marauder Horsemen, they've got a decent amount of ammunition left. They are throwing into, it looks like Chaos Warriors with Halberds and also Trolls, which is pretty good use of their ammunition. But the worry is if they do start to run out. But it looks like they're all relatively healthy for now. Chaos Giant probably going to fall down to the ground here. Balance power very heavily in favour here of Stormrunner and the Red Chaos Forces. This Hell Cannon been allowed to keep firing very surprisingly here. There's been many opportunities to shut it down, up to 70 kills now, and even if it's just shooting in to Marauder Horsemen, it's going to be doing some decent damage. And as you can see, it's already routed one unit, and more Marauder Horsemen are falling. Unfortunately, though, the Chaos Sorcerer of Metal has just rallied, actually, for Stormrunner here. Maybe get in here and do one more big final transmutation. Could be absolutely glorious. Prince Sigvald the Magnificent, healing up very nicely here, almost to full health, fighting alongside his aspiring champions and so forth, although slowly dwindling in number. Balance of power now pulled back even as Prince Sigvald of the Blue Forces does start to regain health here with his armour of regeneration. Hell Cannon is also being shut down, and some of the trolls are being driven off here, and no doubt Noob for Life will escort them off as well with these Marauders, getting perfect value. And it's basically devolved into, can Stormrunner force a blob fight and maybe a final transmutation? I don't think Noob for Life's going to allow that. Instead, he's going to skirt around the outside and just throw in those javelins, chase off those low leadership Chaos Trolls where possible, and slowly try and pick the game apart. However, he does have to deal with a full health Prince Sigvald the Magnificent, alongside some pretty elite troops. Balance power now swinging heavily in favour. What a turnaround very quickly by Noob for Life. I do think the balance power was slightly over-exaggerating when it said how negatively his forces were, as once that healing did kind of kick in, he's now certainly looking in very good shape as the red forces do start to break here. Looks like they're saying good luck, have fun in chat there, and I can't see the red Chaos Forces unfortunately pulling this out, as both the Manticores come in once again. Very nice cycle charging overall, focusing down those trolls initially and chase them off the battlefield, helping turn the balance power mightily against the red Chaos, and then simply cycle charging, winning at that mobility game early on certainly helped out massively. But well played to both players. Stormrunner making an incredibly close game, dragging down that giant, almost assassinating the enemy Sigvald. If he managed to get him off the field, maybe it would have been a different outcome, as the rest of the blue Chaos Forces would have started to break and panic. But poor Prince Sigvald here, being left all alone, maybe wondering why no one wants to play with him, and he's probably unfortunately going to get javelined into the other realm. Is there any forces left alive now? It looks like it's just Prince Sigvald holding on. We have a few troops running away, but unfortunately it doesn't look like any of them are likely to rally. And the Prince on Prince action. It's pretty glorious here. Looks like Noob for Life wants to go one-on-one here, which is an interesting choice, as his Sigvald is much lower health. But what glorious combat we do indeed have. Which is the real one and which is the fake? Maybe we will find out here. Perhaps it doesn't matter. Perhaps if Stormrunners does in fact win this contest, the blue army will simply flock to his banner. But then come the Chaos Knights to run him down and betray the rules of the duel there. Which is pretty damn awesome. Suave, I've just seen your message. Go Chaos! Certainly a good time to support Chaos here. That was incredible. That was pretty damn awesome. But yeah, the mobility game certainly ends up coming out on top there. Just really nice early play, driving off the opponent's Marauder Horsemen, and also chasing off their Chaos Warhounds. And then the Marauders free range just to throw in there and slowly deal that damage to the Trolls and so forth. Still well played by Stormrunner. Dragged, somehow managed to kind of, tempt Noob for Life into that big blob fight with Sigvald and the Giant. Took down the Giant and nearly Sigvald, but once he got out of there, it was certainly going to be a struggle, as Noob for Life then got his head in the game and started simply to pick apart Stormrunner's forces. But very good game overall. GG. That was magnificent. It was indeed. Sigvald Brawl. That was beautiful. So, Poison Ducky, you are up next. Let's see if he's online and I can drop him a little invite. Password is, of course, 123, with the lobby being Ducky's King of the Hill. So, we are going to be dropping here to Fall of Man. Going to be giving it a go as it was suggested in chat. Wow, what killed the Giants? Certainly either the Halberds. Probably makes him a Sigvald as well. He actually can pack a bit of a punch, but yeah, he was just surrounded by Halberds. And Giants, very good. Very good as well at killing enemy single entities, and in fact doing pretty decent damage as well to big mobs, but eventually they do get dragged down. If you surround single entities, of course, you're doing all that damage as well to their behind as well, so they're losing a lot of that melee defense. GG, but mobility wins games. It is true, it did very good indeed. So I've actually played Three Kingdoms. I've heard very mixed things about it. I'm nervous. Quack, quack. Just wish there could have been more Mirror Guard on Mirror Guard action. He blew mine up. He certainly did. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. And let's, while I think about it, update. New for Life is the current king. And in comes the mighty Poison Ducky. And guys, if you do want to play in any of these events, please do join my Discord. It's just down in the description below. So, King, picks, and bans too. Let's see what they go for. I'll have a little chill out with you guys. The man has fallen to the river on Fall of Man. Karl Franz Ascendant versus Archaon the Ever-Chosen. That'd be pretty damn cool. What's up, Shetland? Nice to see you, my dude. If two Mirror Guard face each other, do they create an unending vortex? They would probably end up just admiring their own reflection, I feel. Or is that Sigvald who mainly does that? I don't know if the Mirror Guard also kind of up themselves a little bit. I think the only thing that could snap them out of it would be Sigvald. Which would be pretty damn interesting. Cool, New for Life. Looks like he's going to be going High Elves by the banner right here. We'll have to wait and see. You can have another quick little drink. Make sure I keep hydrated. And nice to see quite a few people watching. Hope you're doing all good today. It's been a very stressful day for me, unfortunately. I was, well, not too stressful, but I haven't been at work. But I was meant to do get some videos out early today, but unfortunately we had builders turn up randomly without my landlord telling me. And outside my window, very early this morning, they started dismantling everything, which is slightly awkward. So unfortunately, this is the earliest I was able to stream. I was going to try and stream twice today, but we'll make up for it just later in the week. Ooh, I hear a little beat bloop here. So he's going High Elves, banning it Bretonnians and Tomb Kings. Okay. Do I hate going against Bretonnians if I'm High Elves? Perhaps. I feel like High Elves, even though they have a lot of high damage dealers, like Sisters of Avalon, and they have halberds, spears all over the place, I still feel like they deal rather poorly up against large entities, if the large entities can keep moving. High Elves, I feel, have a little bit of a hard time pinning people in place unless you bring nets and Sisters of Avalon and that type of approach. I feel like Phoenix Guards can sometimes struggle at pinning in big troops. So understandable why he doesn't want to face against so much cav and so forth. Poison Ducky reverting to his favourite faction. He's a Vampire Count's main, I believe. And also, funnily enough, my doubles partner when we do games. We are Bonus versus Bread is our team name, which is quite cool. What's up, Magnus? Hope you're doing all good, dude. Good to see you around. Hope you're well in these troubled times. Vampire Counts for Poison Ducky. Should be some good fun. For those who don't know as well, I'm sure you all do know if you've seen my channel before, but anyone coming in, randomly, just checking me out for the first time, Poison Ducky here is also a YouTuber as well, a very talented YouTuber. And perhaps even has my favourite Total War video of all time, which is Nakai the Wanderer wandering for 15 minutes to lo-fi beats, and it's incredibly nice to chill out to if you've had a long day at work or so forth. But yeah, certainly go check him out after the stream. How many Krells should I bring? I'll say at least 4. I feel like any more would be too much. But yes. Was you talking about Bretonnia against High Elves? I was indeed, Magnus. And mainly because Noob for Life has gone High Elves, but has banned Bretonnians. Hopefully he will have a nice dragon for you. I know you're a big fan of the Mighty Star Dragon, which can be very potent indeed. A little bit glass cannon. Also, what is this map? Who suggested this map? I can't remember. Blame chat, because I can't remember who it was. I feel like it might have been Scourge, but who knows. But anyway, guys, so we've had Stormrunner try his best there up against the mighty Noob for Life, but Noob for Life came out on top. And now we have Poison Ducky. Then we're going to be having Consul of Rome, Scourge of the West, Suave, Darth, and Pacta. Should be a very interesting bunch of players. Let's quickly check Discord, make sure we're all good in the herd. Cool, got a thumbs up, cool. Oh no, looks like Darth won't be able to play. Oh no. Thanks, man. Catch you next time. Okay, that's actually perfect, because I can't let the stream go for too long, unfortunately. So we're now going to be having Poison Ducky here, then Consular Rome, Scourgeous, Suave, and Pacta. No worries, change his name to Darth Quacker. I don't know what this new phase is of everyone changing the name to duck-based fins in my Discord, but I'm loving it. I'm loving all the names. Yes, the Nakai Walking Simulator is brilliant. I'm pretty certain we're going to get a sequel as well with Wolfric the Wanderer wandering, which should be good fun. You think Dragon Princess can be good against Grail Knights with a Shadow Mage and Mind Razor? I feel like it can be very powerful against anything with that Mind Razor. They can certainly pack a punch. It's a little bit random. A little bit of RNG does come into play, but they can certainly do a decent amount of damage. It was not me, I swear. It's all the duck plan. The dark plan of Papa P, mighty Sith Lord. Normally, if something's going wrong, it turns out Papa Palpatine is behind it. Up to no good as always, which is, you know, certainly fitting in his character. I think... I haven't seen Raptor around, actually, so we may not get a horrifying map for the last game of the stream. We don't know. Nice little sip of drink there. And let's see. Well, ready when you are. I hope the choke point isn't too choke pointy. We will have to see. Fall of Man. I must have played this map at some point, but I just can't remember it off the top of my head. So it'll certainly be interesting to see how balanced this map actually is. Oh, Dragon Princess. I thought you meant the Dragon Prince. Sorry there. Yes, that can also work very well. It's a necessary part of the Discord evolving. That is true. Everyone's slowly moulding into a duck as the Great Duck Empire is slowly being formed. And if you want to join the Great Duck Empire, feel free to like the video, subscribe and all that good stuff. Not only when you hit that like button do you make me very happy, but a duckling is born into the world and we weep in joy, which is always beautiful. And yeah, it's good fun. I need to actually sort out, I need to speak to Poison Ducky how to get a little video pop up when someone does subscribe midstream. That'd be good fun. I have the perfect video for it, but I don't know how to make it happen, unfortunately. I kind of don't want to spoil it. I don't want to say what it is, but it's so good, I kind of do. It's a really fun little video, but we'll have to wait. Is that a rare sight indeed? Ben the Barman, how is it going? Hope you're all good, man. Haven't seen you in a little while. Hope you're surviving in this chaotic time with the virus and everything. Hope you're good and safe. You've joined us in our second game of the King of the Hill. Noob for Life is the current king, going up against Poison Ducky here. Cool, cool. Noob for Life is ready. Was just checking rules. No worries. Looks like we're good to go then. We'll pop in and have a little see. Noob for Life just checking the rules here. If he's stolen my build, I'm going to be very upset. Very upset, Noob for Life. Because I have a build which is legal, but you do have to check it because it's a little bit sketchy. Cosmic Master, what's up, dude? Love the name. All good. Hope you guys too. I'm all good, man. I'm just not too much has changed over here for me. I still have to go to work. I'm like class as essential basically, so my work pattern's still the same, which is kind of good and bad. It means I've got like a decent income and I get to escape the house as well. I know a lot of people getting very tired of being kind of cooped up in the house, but at the same time, I would love to have time off and just stream constantly and put out loads of videos, which would be good fun. But you know, can't complain too much. I just can't get out of the house as much. Which, you know, pros and cons and all of that type of stuff. Yeah, good to hear you're all good, man. Okay, let's get going. This is a pretty cool map. I like it. Fall of Man. Kind of get dragged down into this nice centre pocket here. There's potential for choke points, but I don't think you guys are going to be deploying up there, surely. Otherwise, that's a bit harsh. But if they both advance into the middle, it could be quite a fun map. I like these little bits of impassable terrain as well. You can kind of fire off as well and do some sneaky stabbings while skirting all around the side here and popping up into your enemies. So no, I think it's not too bad. Nice wooded terrain as well for sneaky stabbings. And oh my god, what is this? Why would you invent this? Is that a horn? I thought it was a bucket for some reason at the start, but it looks like a great mighty horn there. Probably blown by the Beastmen by the looks of it. And certainly a very cool and thematic place. Why would you build a town here is my one question. Okay, it's defensive, you have the mountains and so forth, but if there's giant war horns like in sight of the city, I would not be living there. I would not be a fan, especially when you can see all the broken down ruins as well surrounding the place. But very cinematic overall. Should be good once these players load in. We'll have a little look at the armies. Should be all good fun. And also, don't ever worry, by the way, if you're loading in against someone and you're worried about the internet connection. When this takes a little while to load, it's actually people's computers which determines how long it takes to load in. You don't have to worry about lagging until you're actually in the game and so forth. Looks like we are loaded in now, and let's have a little look at the King's forces. We are going to have a bit of an air fight as well, which is pretty damn exciting. So, for leadership, we have Alariel the Radiant on foot. Pretty interesting pick indeed. Going to be coming in here with all her healing and so forth. Always a good idea when you do have units like Star Dragons and Dragon Princes. For his main forces, we do have Spearmen, mixing with a ton of Lothran Seaguard, all in a very regimented formation for now. Sure, that's going to be changing in just a second. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of Lothran Seaguard, a couple units of Spearmen, and they're going to be assisted by 2 units of the very elite Swordmasters of Hoeth. These elite troops will carve through pretty much all of Vampire's foot forces, realistically. They can do some pretty decent damage, but can be cycle charged into eternity. We have 1 unit of Dragon Princes, a mighty Star Dragon, making Magnus very proud, I'm sure, in chat here. And Alariel coming in with, as you expect, all her healing. Oh, this is a very, very good spell right here. Tempest brought. This could be very clutch, determining, or considering, sorry, the amount of flying troops it looks like they're going to be facing. Star of Avalon, Earthblood, Claws Protection, all that good competitive stuff. So let's have a little look at the Challenger, Poison Ducky, and his undead forces. So in the front line, we have a ton of zombies. Just cheap and cheerful chaff. The real heroes, to be honest, of Total War in general. Looking glorious, trying their best, and they're going to be just sponges there, taking in that Lothran Seaguard bowfire. We then have some Skeleton Warriors as well in a secondary line. So very thin, actual kind of infantry corps here, coming in with a very different build overall. We have some Corpse Carts as well, just one with the Unholy Lodestone, as well as a Mortis engine in the back here, going to be doing some nice draining buffs and debuffs. We have some Fellbats up in the sky, and this is where the real money is. We have 2 Terrorgeists up in the sky. Really need to be careful of that Tempest. If they get caught in the Tempest, which alone does a decent amount of damage, plus Lothran Seaguard fire coming in, that could cause some huge problems here for Poison Ducky and his forces. Down here on the low ground, we do have Verix Reavers, Regiment Black Knights, looking incredibly cool, sorry, with their blue ethereal flames. I really like these mounts indeed. And also a unit of Blood Knights, and they're going to be escorting a Von Karstein Vampire Lord, who suits this environment very nicely here. I love his red painted shield here and his very scary steed. And if we have a little look at what spells he's brought, he does have Storm of the Night, causes magical damage, huge random move and area effect, good against flyers, so that could be pretty good up against the dragon as well. Undead Resurgence, Charmed Shield, all that good stuff, Raised Dead, Invocation of Heck, Val Dance Macabre, Hell's Dance Macabre, sorry, all the competitive standard stuff you would expect. So, gonna be good fun. Going to be very good fun. These Terrorgeists have to stay away from each other. If they both get caught at the same time in a vortex, that could be deadly. But if they can get the swoop down on the Star Dragon away from the Lothran Seaguard, could be very tasty indeed. What are you guys thinking? Well, she's not on foot, she floats. That is true. Looking forward to that Tempest indeed. That Tempest is going to be key though. It's gonna be key. Does he wait to try and get the perfect opportunity to catch both the Terrorgeists, or does he take his chances, rolls the dice, catches the one, tries to wear it down with Lothran Seaguard, who don't do the most armor-piercing damage, and not the most damage overall, but consistent fire from 5 units of them should do some really decent work. Quite like this formation as well. Spears on the flanks, Swordmasters to carve through basically everything here, but to be honest, there's only zombies and Skeleton Warriors. Now, we'll cut them up very quickly, and in sustained combat, can do very good up against Blood Knights and pretty much all foes, but they are a little bit susceptible to cycle charging like most units are. Looks like Lothran Seaguard actually being bunched forward here, probably looking to advance to this hill and force the counts forward, knowing that they're going to have to move forward and they don't have any range units. Star Dragon doesn't think the opponent is worthy of its majesty right here, turning its back on its enemies and roaring gloriously there. Such a cool model. The fact they managed to bring dragons into this game so successfully, it's so well done. However, Star Dragons are a little bit glass cannon in my opinion because they can be hit so many times when they get surrounded by enemies. But they don't have too much to worry about here apart from those Terrorgeists, perhaps also the Blood Knights if they get a little bit too caught up. But I'm sure the Dragon Princess will have something to say about that. Good luck, have fun from Noob for Life. Just waiting on the mighty Poison Duck here. Oh no! They've just caught a little bit of lag. Looks like it is recovering here. Random little spike there. Looks like it should hopefully sort itself out. Oh, it's just as they started the game and it looks like it's back now. Okay, that's all good. So both forces do start their advance. High Elves certainly been trying to make the most of this high ground here. Perhaps also using this impassable terrain to protect the flank. Of course, the Counts can just swoop up and around and hit them as well. Star Dragon still not thinking the opponent is worthy, looking the other direction for now, as the rest of the forces do start to get into position as the Counts start their slow but very powerful and majestic waddle forward on their little zombie legs here. It'll be interesting to see where the Terrorgeists manage to find a home here. There's a lot of pointy spears and arrows awaiting them, as well as a Star Dragon, and these Dragon Princes as well, hiding up in the trees back here, going to actually hit them. No, it looks like they're not hidden. They're going to be moving forwards, but going to be used as a backline protection tool, which I think is the best way to use them in this matchup. Wait for those Terrorgeists and those big Alpha Strikes to come in before countercharging them with the nice healing. Sorry for not being able to play. No worries, Ronan. Hope you're doing all good, man. Don't worry, we got a pack to manage to make it in anyway. Take your place, so have no worries. Pact will be representing you his best. And this is game 2, so you haven't missed too much. Blood Knights and Varric Reavers starting to reave down this right-hand flank looking for a home, perhaps trying to get on top of these Lothran Seaguard, but it's a bit risky here, overextended, but it looks like they have managed to elude the Dragon Princes who are on the other flank right now, and we can certainly see some nice hammering coming in from these forces. Dragon Princes daring to charge forward here, try to get some nice cycle charge on zombies, but they've got to be a bit careful if the Terrorgeists come over here and catch these guys, but it looks like Noob for Life well aware of that, going to be falling back here. Big breath attack does come in on those guys, but only clips 1 or 2 models, unfortunately. Star Dragon and Terrorgeist in the ultimate showdown here. Terrorgeist looking like he wants to back off, and he's going to start falling back here. In the back lines, we do have Blood Knights and Varric Reavers very successfully here, hunting down some Lothran Seaguard, but they don't want to hold on for too long, so they're trying to get surrounded on Alariel as well. But these guys need to pull back as the Dragon Princes are swooping in, and that consistent arrow fire from the Lothran Seaguard will add up. But both Terrorgeists are starting to fly over. And it looks like we do have that Tempest as well from the Counts coming down, the Storm of the Night coming down on that Star Dragon, just keeping it away from this engagement for as long as possible. And it looks like both Terrorgeists have in fact landed, so the Tempest cannot work on them. Poor Blood Knights are getting absolutely annihilated here by the Dragon Prince's charge and the consistent fire. And this could spell pretty much doom early on for the Counts if they lose the Blood Knights. Varric Reavers doing a decent job up against Lothran Seaguard, but they need to be cycle charged here. You can see they're already down to half health after that initial shock charge kind of wears off. These guys are taking way too much damage. Probably need to come down here, get some rear attacks into Spearmen or so forth. Ron Carstein has popped Undeath Resurgence as well. The Star Dragon attempts to hunt him down, and it looks like a Goonin attempt is starting to emerge here from the Terrorgeist on Alara Raiden, but she's simply going to float away. Actually, no, look, she looks like she's on foot here. She's walking around little bits of a tree and kind of growing behind her, taking an absolute beating. The Dragon Prince is rallying to her, charging in massive Star of Avalon as well as the Star Dragon comes in, and this is going to be a really key engagement. Varric Reavers do manage to delete that unit of Lothran Seaguard eventually. And in the front line, Mortis Engine should really assist these zombies, and the hordes are slowly cutting their way through, but wherever the Swordmasters are, these guys are going to be getting huge amounts of kills, 83 and 82 respectively, and this big blob fight is really where it's at, and it's certainly going to be favouring the High Elves in my opinion. Big Star of Avalon coming in, keeping those Dragon Princes very active, and Star Dragon beating down the zombies, and the Terrorgeists are taking huge damage now. Varric Reavers, though, getting a nice rear attack into these Lothran Seaguard, but once again need to be cycling in, trying to break off units, and in comes the Mortis Engine, which could really turn the engagement here. It's a really key engagement going on. So for the rest of the battlefield, as expected, Swordmasters cutting through troops in the front line. So the Corpse Cart very slowly driving through, but some more Swordmasters are now getting dragged into this big blob fight. Ron Carstone Lord does start to fall back here, but we're going to be getting another extended Earthblood here, so Overcast keeping these guys in action. Of course, there is a healing cap, and we get an upgraded Invocation the Heck to boot as well in retaliation. So pretty close engagement overall. Perhaps Mortis Engine can turn this engagement around. Dragon Princes are starting to get dragged down here a little bit, but in retaliation, the Terrorgeists started to crumble as well, getting very low here. The Star Dragon incredibly healthy. Varric Reavers constantly trying to do that cycle charge into the back, up to 59 kills, nice play by them. Failbats as well have swarmed on top of some Lothran Seaguard to stop them from shooting. Zombies as well need to start pushing forward. Of Corpse Cart is starting to get into the main action. But the problem here for the Counts, even if they start to win this engagement, there's still two very healthy units of Swordmasters who are going to walk in here and do some huge amounts of damage. Terrorgeist deciding to, you know, scoot boot and get out here as quickly as possible. Perhaps get back up into the sky here and heal up a little bit. We're going to probably get some big breath attacks coming in as well. Looks like they're shooting over into the Lothran Seaguard. Interesting choice there. Probably would have aimed for these Swordmasters. But they can probably do some nice cycle charge now into these Dragon Princes and actually possibly finish them off. Instead, it looks like they're going to be trying to hunt down the Star Dragon. As a big Tempest comes in again, trapping that Dragon. This is a really nice play here. But this poor Terrorgeist can't seem to get up into the air. I don't know if this one Spearman is blocking it or the fact that the Dragon is above it, there's no space for it to fly to, allowing its poor brother here to engage in one-on-one combat up against the Star Dragon. Certainly not where he wants to be. This poor Terrorgeist can't fly here as he's stuck down on the ground and finally gets up in the air and should be able to assist and help out. Unfortunately though, Von Cast Iron Lord, although he has popped a Charm Shield, giving him a little bit of damage resistance, is slowly getting dragged down here by Swordmasters, and the Morris Engine is also starting to fall, but lots of damage also done back. And that was really unfortunate there. Terrorgeist probably could have got the Star Dragon down to maybe but even down below half health, maybe towards a quarter, if they'd been allowed to fight for the entire time. Corpse Cart just hanging out nearby, and zombies are slowly starting to come in to try and weigh down these Swordmasters. Do have Dragon Princes though protecting some Lothran Seaguard, and another Star of Avalon does come in. Balance of power starting to go in favour of the current King, Noob for Life and his High Forces, getting great healing on these Swordmasters and the Dragon. Doing some very nice work overall. As the Dragon Princes do now swoop in, looks like they're going running all the way through, trying to hop on top of those nasty Terrorgeists. And I think that is going to end up being game. I can't see what the Counts can do. Nothing left on the battlefield really. We have a few Lothran Seaguard rally into the cause, using the last little dregs of their ammunition up to try and bring down the engine. Which isn't a bad play here. Force Engine is up to Silver Chevron now, however. And some decent work overall. Terrorgeist, still two Terrorgeists in the fight. They're going to get saturated down. They can't quite pull down the Star Dragon, I don't think. He's been an absolute beast this game. 71 kills and also tanked a ton of damage. And these Swordmasters will do decent damage here. However, Dragon Princes are starting to rout now. A lot of these low tier units as well, when they start to lose health, will start to break to all the terror and so forth. But L'Ariel, very healthy, standing nearby, encouraging the troops by looking away from the death and gore. And probably singing them very nicely, I can see. And healing up where possible. But I'm actually getting to eat my own words here as that Star Dragon gets deleted by the Terrorgeist coming in here. And the Swordmasters starting to get a little bit low on health. But the Terrorgeist themselves near their healing cap here. And the Von Cast Iron Lord as well probably needs to turn and fight this. As he's just taking a huge amount of damage here from the Dragon. And the poor Terrorgeist a little bit too far away. But Star Dragon taking much more of a beating than I thought he would. But still, balance power now heavily in favour of the High Elves. And looks like the Star Dragon may break, but not before the Terrorgeists do. Army losses kick in, and GG's, the King holds firm. And at work, please discard Daft Quackers. Yes, no worries, Zachary. I got your message, my dude, in Discord. I'll hopefully catch you on the next one, though. Oh, I gave Pat my place. I feel good now. That is true. That is true. He finally gets to play one of these. He's played in the last couple, I think, but he normally, unfortunately, catches the very end. So, overall, really fun game indeed. Swordmasters, 265 and 237 kills is impressive. I know a lot of it was against zombies, but still, they really helped in the late game as well, doing that massive armor-piercing damage coming in and helping assist to take down both those Terrorgeists. But well played to both players here, both Noob for Life and Poison Ducky, and Noob for Life will continue his reign as Mighty King. GG. Very odd, unfortunate moment as well with the Terrorgeist not being able to fly, but these poor things do happen eventually. So, we will be saying goodbye to the mighty Poison Ducky and getting Consul of Rome, who had some concerns, I think, earlier about his internet, but we'll get him in and see how it goes. Forgot about the Tempest. Indeed, that worked pretty nice. I lost my Blood Knights way too early. Yes, I did say actually, I think at the start, if the Blood Knights went down, it was going to be a struggle. Unfortunately, it was. Just wanted to double check. No worries, Zachary. Cheers for letting me know, man. Imagine if the High-Elves got a Tempest off on those Terrorgeists. Unfortunately, they just landed so quickly that he couldn't, unfortunately, pull it off. So it was a little bit of a kind of a risky strategy, chucking them in, but at the same time, it did save them from the Tempest and all the amount of arrow fire they would acquire. But very good indeed. Can you imagine to train for hundreds of years to become a Swordmaster only to be sent to hack through zombies? That's true. That is true. But, cool. My goose was stuck under the dragon. That is true. That was very bizarre. So, good luck. And remember, guys, Poison Ducky is a YouTuber, so if you want to make him a very happy ducky boy indeed, please do go check his channel out after this. It makes very similar content to me, mainly Total War videos with 1 or 2 extra games chucked in that as well. So let's have a little look for Consul of Rome if he's online. Looks like he is. Let's pop in a little invite as we change map. Let us go for... What map haven't we done in a while? River Maximum will certainly be making its rearing its head at some point relatively soon. The Consul Rome is here, the mighty man himself. Let us go Toothgrass Hill. Let's go for that one. Hey, dude. Consul Rome, for those who don't know, is a kind of long-standing friend of the channel, basically. It's been around for a very long time, since I was a very small channel indeed, and been real good support, so it's great to see him back on the channel as well. Is it weird that no one does a cav build against Vamps? I find it really effective with Helm of Discord and Mark Dance for Carbon Overcast Hills. It'd be good to try out. I don't really play counts, unfortunately, but a all cav build certainly sounds very fun. So Consul Rome is all good, so noob, picks, and bans. Pick Lizman, ban, Tomb King, and Vampirates. Okay, so getting some Lizman action. And Consul Rome going for his favourite high elves. So perhaps there's a chance for the Star Dragon yet. Magnus, you may get to see your favourite boy in action. Gonna have a quick little drink here while these guys do sort out their armies. Toothgrass Hill, very fun map indeed. There's a big hill, as you can see here, on the left-hand flank. But there's also some trees on this right-hand side if you want to sneak around the hill. But it does dominate quite a lot of the battlefield. And often you see players trying to rush for the hill. But you can fight on the low ground as well and shoot people off the hill. Has similar kind of strategic problems and advantages as Alpine Ridge, I find. Which is another very fun map. So guys, we are into game 3 now, I believe. So we've had the mighty Stormrunner and Poison Ducky fall to the blade of Noob for Life. And now we have Consul of Rome up after him. We will have Scourge of the West, Suave, and Pacta. Which are certainly some mighty foes for our king to try and defend against. Is it weird that your channel is almost a year old? Very, very weird, Magnus. It certainly does not feel like I've been doing this for a year at all. And it's changed a lot as well, the channel. I know it's still Total War Warhammer content, but just how I run things, and I guess I've just got more used as well to streaming and so forth. Quite a lot has changed, but it's good fun. I will certainly need to do something to celebrate the year as well. But yeah, we're a growing channel, which is nice. Still quite small, but I believe we're up to 370-ish subs. But if you want to join the ranks of the Royal Dark Guard, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We do Total War content for the most part, but also venture out into other games as well. We're currently doing a Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice Warp playthrough, which is super fun, and after that we'll do another game as well to replace it. And possibly getting into some reaction videos as well. I did one for my last video and it kind of blew up. Well, at least for my channel-wise, it got over 2,000 or 2.5 views or something, which is 2,500 views, not just 2.5 views, which is pretty crazy to be honest, as I don't do that type of video normally. So I hope those people don't mind that I don't normally do those videos, if they're kind of got new subscribers and so forth. But if you guys have any Warhammer cinematics, whether it's 40k or fantasy, especially fantasy, I'd be very interested, but any cinematics or fan-made films, please let me know. I'll be happy to look them over as well. Looks like Consul Rome is ready though, so let's get back to some Total War action. He is, yep, picking high elves and ready. You often see Sisters of Avalon in this matchup, with a Teclis going for that net build, trying to pin in those big monsters and Temple Guard and so forth. But a bit interesting to see. Looks like the guy's ready. Nice and quick here, so we're going to hop in. When you do another 2v2 King of the Hill, me and Park Map still have fun builds. We need to try it. So, I am definitely up for doing another 2v2 King of the Hill. It was a bit of a kind of problem. Getting people to connect and so forth, so I'd have to probably get everyone to test connections with me beforehand and stuff, just to make sure everything runs smoothly, but I'm definitely up for doing another one again. Thanks for the King of the Hill. I'm off to practice with Park Map and Aristo. No worries, Poison Ducky, thanks for tuning in. Please give Aristo and Park Map my regards as well, and please pick Swift Shiver Shards against Aristo Damos. He'll hate it. I love it. I love it. But peace out, man. Okay, let's quickly check the scoreboard. Yes, we did change it. Ah, so pro. So pro. So as you can see, on this right-hand flank, we do have the hill which dominates the map. Often you'll see both armies deploy here, and then try and rush the hill as quickly as possible. But at the same time, there's a nice tree line on this left-hand flank, and swamps you can sneak through to try and get an advantage on your opponent, and a big middle grounder here as well, where battles do tend to start. Should be some good fun as they do load in now. Plus, we get to see some glorious dino architecture in the background, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the temples turn into spaceships in the end times, which I have very, very strong feelings about. I feel very strange about the end times in general. I don't know it too well, so I don't want to judge it too harshly, but I know it's a little controversial. Very cool build coming in here by Noob for Life. Let's delve into it. Always like to see new Lizardman builds. So it looks like we have some Cold One Riders. Are these just the regular ones? Yes, just the regular ones. No Spear Riders here. One on either flank. And in the centre pocket, we do have a ton of Saurus Royals with shields as well. So a bad to the bones, hardcore front line here. We have 3 units of Chameleon Skinks. Arguably, the most annoying unit in the game to deal with. They slow you down with poison, they have missile resistance, they're relatively fast as well, and they do that consistent damage throughout the game. So I really like this pick here, coming from Noob for Life. We have 2 Bastiladons with solar engines. Going to be doing some good burst damage, actually, against the tightly packed formations of the High Elves. Be interesting to see how those guys do play out. And what else do we have? I think we just need to go over the Lord and the hero choice here. So we do have a Saurus Scar Veteran here, up to his Carnosaur, always a nice pick as well. Does some decent damage. And where have you gone? Where have you gone? We have a Fat Boy Toad himself, the Lovecraftian love child of, I don't know, probably myself and Lovecraft himself. Star Mage Priest of High Magic, very interesting choice indeed. Coming with Shield of the Old Ones, Aura of Quetzal, Blood Statue of Spite, all those good abilities. Then Tempest, that's why he brought the high one. The Star Mage Priest of High Magic, I would assume. Tempest, so powerful. Hand of Glory and Apotheosis. So the competitive choices there indeed. Interesting. It'll be good to see how it works. Unfortunately, Tempest isn't going to have any good targets. But let's go through Contarome's army. One of the best defensive players. So he relies very heavily on defense, Contarome, in his build, but he's so good at it, and I'll get into that a little bit later about new players and defensive builds and how I think you can make them work correctly. But anyway, Contarome comes in with a load of spearmen in a really nice defensive formation here, covering his flanks. And in the centre pocket, we do have the 3 Sisters of Avalon, including the Ever Queen's Court Guard, the Regiment Renowned version. Not only do they look more badass, but also a little bit more powerful, and these ladies are pretty decent in combat as well. They're going to be assisted by a Handmaiden of the Ever Queen as well, giving them all kinds of buffs as well. If we look here, plus 10% missile damage, and also that plus 5 reload skill and melee attack. We have Aleph Anar, Consul of Rome, coming in with the boy! Aleph Anar, my favourite high elf character, who's also going to be buffing troops with Darkened Skies, plus 20 reload skill. They're going to be backed up by the Keeper of the Flames here, Regiment Round Phoenix Guard, bad to the bone troops, and looks very good indeed. We also have some Silver Helms as well for a bit of protection in the front line, and a Mage of Light coming with Net, of course, and Files protection. Really cool build. So there is a difference, in my opinion. So a lot of new players I see fall into the same trap. They go very gun heavy, very defensive. But there is a difference between being passive defensive and active defensive. And Contarome is certainly falls into the latter category of being active. So you don't just set up your formation and shoot your opponent and pray for the best, which a lot of people do. Instead, you have to be willing and quick enough as well to counter your opponent's movements and block those down. Now, the solar engines are actually going to do pretty decent work here up against the Sister Avalon in their tightly packed formation, but if they get close enough, they will decimate the Bastiladons pretty damn heavily. However, the Chameleon Skinks as well could be a big problem here. So I feel like Noob Life certainly has the tools here to try and pick apart this high elf build, but he certainly cannot just rush in there. Cold One Rise trying to move up here, as well as the rest of the forces. Looks like the Slam Mage Priest hiding in the trees here, protected by 1 unit of Cold One Rise as well. As the rest of the army does start to move forward, we have some Chameleon Skinks just checking out the opponents here, as the Silver Helms start to grace the top of the hill. Of course, both opponents might not be able to see each other's builds yet because of this big hill is in the way. End times. We don't talk about the end times. Let's see. 3 sister build, yeah. So yeah, Teclis could possibly be better in this matchup with the net, but he does have the Mage of Light to assist with that, and then he's going to get ridiculous amounts of reload speed on these guys. Can we turn them into absolute lawnmowers if they can get the right targets and get in range without taking too much damage? I feel like these solar engines certainly going to have something to say about this. What is the range though of a solar engine? 240 up against 180, so they're going to have a decent advantage, although Alifanar can also get in there, do a bit of decent sniping work as well. Might even be honestly just good just to sit him on top of this Slar Mage Priest all day. I know the Mage Priest can be a bit of a tanky boy, especially against missile fire, but that consistent fire will really start to push the agenda and force Noob for Life forward. So both players at the moment just formulating their plan, pushing forward both, and Alifanar coming in with a few decent shots here, and he is going for the Basilion of Solar Engine, which is certainly not a bad shout here. If he can drive off these donor boys early on, that's certainly going to help the Sisters of Avalon out greatly. He's doing some damage. 2 good hits as well, Basilion pretty slow, and Alifanar as well, getting that extra reload to himself as well, should be doing some decent damage. An early Apotheosis coming in here on this Basilion. Now, if I was Consul Rome, I would simply start targeting the next one, as I don't think that Apotheosis is going to be great value there. It probably should have been done a little bit later, I would assume. Oh no, looks like it did actually heal up a pretty decent amount. But he's managed to get out 1 Apotheosis so far, but you know, Apotheosis, relatively cheap healing spell. Move your army up. I ain't marching uphill. Both need to attack, please. Okay, looks like they're being all good. Cool. So Noob for Life also has to bear in mind he does have to get attacking, so if he stays too still here for a second, we will let him know as well. But looks like the Basilions are also, they've been shooting and doing some decent damage overall. Another Apotheosis coming down on that Basilion, as the Hale forces do start to move into range. As soon as those Sisters start shooting as well, would be all good, but some early blast shots coming into the Spearmen. Silverhelm's wrapping around the flank here. Not too many good targets for them, unfortunately. They could run over the Chameleon Skinks relatively effectively, but they didn't obviously know they're here yet. Let's just message as well. Noob needs to be attacking as well. You can't just keep falling back with the Basilions, unfortunately. Looks like he is all good. And is now starting to move forward with his Chameleon Skinks, which is good to see. The only question is, you can't move forward with Basilions, shoot, fall back, and constantly try and lure your opponent in. You must always be attacking. Basilions, though, going to be wisely moving back as the Chameleons do start to harry these Spearmen forward. Not the best target for them, but they want to be hopping on top of these Sister Avalon as quickly as possible. As those Basilions do start to do some decent damage, or try to. As a ton of missile fire now coming into that Saurus Scarvich and taking an absolute beating there, just from a couple of volleys, taking a huge amount of work here. We do have another Apotheosis come down the Basilion. And if this poor Saurus Scarvich does get netted here, he could be in really bad shape. But he is starting to fall back here. Is that mage going to get forward quick enough? It looks like she's just chilling out the back for now. Doesn't want to get too involved. And he has been forced back away from the main fight. And those Sisters now doing really decent damage onto Basilion with Solar Engine as well. So now that these guys are all in range, they're doing some really decent work. Solar Engine is starting to beam in though, and make this unit of Sisters on the right hand flank really start to pay for the damage they're doing back, but certainly going very well for the High Elves so far. Their front line though is pretty flimsy, and the Saurus Warriors will be able to beat them down relatively quickly here. So the problem is, the Sisters need to assist in the front line to help the Saurus not break through, but at the same time they have all these big targets they really want to try and snipe out. One unit of Saurus Warriors has managed to pop into the back line. Spearmen need to be moved forward, and the Keeper of Flames looks like they're going to be coming forward to try and protect these Sisters as much as possible. Load of damage now going into this poor Gary down on this flank. The Saurus Scarvich very timidly skirting around the flank there and trying to get in. I did hear a net come down. Looks like it's been pinned on these Cold One Spear Riders, who are now stuck in an engagement with Spearmen, which isn't really where they want to be, as some Sisters as well turn their sights to these poor Cold One Riders and doing decent damage. But yeah, doing decent work overall. Looks like Saurus Warriors going toe-to-toe with Keeper of the Flame, which isn't the worst shout for them, as it is at least going to slowly drag them down. More Cold One Riders trying to get round to the other flank here as well. But pretty decent game so far, and you'll see what I mean about Consul. He's kind of reacting to his opponent, moving out his forces where possible, not staying hidden in a little box. But it looks like Noob for Life done a very good job here of trying to pick apart this build and find the holes. Silverhelm's running over some Chameleon Skinks here, doing some decent work. These guys are certainly going to be needed to protect this back line as more Chameleon Skinks do start to flock in. Alifanar doing some okay damage as well, but the Sisters getting very beat up here. Doing some good damage once again, driving off the Saurus Scarvich, who has already had a heal as well popped into him. But I feel like the Lizardman main forces may be able to break through. Keeper of Flames, though, doing a fantastic job of forcing off Saurus Warriors wherever they can. And we have some Spearmen in reserve here as well. One unit of Sisters is basically done for, but there's still 26 Ever Queen's Court Guard and 39 Sisters here. So that is still a ton of punching power. Another net coming down on Cold One Riders as well. These guys are certainly now going to be the targets. Aliphanar, still exhausted from all that shooting he's been doing. Looks like he's going to be lining up his shots. Probably still going after that poor Solar Engine, who've been really clutch here. 77 and 59 kills apiece. And they're all very beat up, though, so there's a little bit danger close. But now they have the nice range on the Sister Avalon that they are punishing those guys very, very hard. Shield of the Old Ones is popped down for the first time here. Saurus Warriors now doing much better up against the Keeper of Flames, who do have a Blood Statue of Spite popped on them. Aliphanar turning his engagement as well to the Cold One Riders, who are now getting a little bit annihilated. Certainly need to start to fall back. And New Life certainly needs to attack from multiple angles in one go, so these Sisters cannot continue to focus down troops like they currently are. Saurus Scarvetchen, unfortunately, taking a bit of a pounding here. Down to 1,500 health. As more and more volleys do start to come into him, he's certainly in a bit of a danger zone. Unfortunately, though, for Consul Rome, his Sister Avalon are just about getting worn down very effectively here by the Solar Engines, who still have some decent ammo left on both of them, even though they are both pretty beat up. Saurus Scarvetchen just needs to keep out of this, stay out of action as long as possible, wait for the Sisters to be taken off, just have some nice patient play from the Lizardmen, and slowly force his way through with his Saurus Warriors and so forth. Very bold move by the Slann Mage Priest of Light, rolling through some Phoenix Guard, but he's doing it relatively happily here, and assisting these Saurus Warriors as well with an Aura of Quetzal, which is a really nice pick. Shots now going into the back, trying to finish off Cold One Riders. So Consul Rome here trying to take away the fast moving units in this Lizardman build to ensure he can protect this back line. But at this point, the Sisters are so beat up, they still have a decent amount of damage output, but they're getting finished off quite quickly. It is a little bit of a concern here. Aliphanar only 10 kills as well. It looks like he only has 2 shots left as well, so he certainly needs to make them count. Looks like he just fired that one into some Saurus Warriors. This last shot needs to go into the Saurus Scarvetchen probably, but it looks like another Apotheosis has just come off. But some more Sisters, once again, getting some decent shots in, and the Saurus Scarvetchen trying to juke as much as possible. Down to 1,000 health here, as the Slann does start to roll dirty, and I feel like the Lizardmen probably just about going to be able to take this. Got some Chameleon Skinks in the back line as well. Spearmen need to start to get chasing, but there's still 2 big dinos left to get in here and do some decent work. Plus the Scarvetchen, even though he is down to just 800 health, can certainly still pack a decent punch. Charging in after this Mage of Light by the looks of it. But taking a few shots now down to just 850 health, his leadership will no doubt start to waver. Some sneaky Chameleon Skinks on either flank now going to surround the poor Sisters and slowly start to drag them down as there's nothing left to protect this back line. Where are those Silver Helms? Looks like they're getting beaten down in the distance by some Cold One Riders. Very close engagement there. Cold One Riders down to just 9 models and starting to rampage here. Poor Sisters slowly being dragged off. Looks like some Spearmen did come back to support, but they are going down unfortunately. And Aliphanar going into combat with the Slann Mage Priest, who does have Shield of the Old Ones popped once again. And I just can't see him doing it with 2 Bastiladons left, getting some really fantastic focus fire, plus a Blood Statue of Spite into the Keeper of Flame, who is one of the saving graces here for the High Elves that possibly could have kept them in action, but they're so beat up here, I don't think there's any way the High Elves are going to be able to manage this. Saurus Scarvetchen has finally been forced off though, but Slann Mage Priest, Aura of Quetzal, keeping him fighting strong, also helping out all these Saurus Warriors as they slowly carve their way through this hero core of the High Elves. Up on the high ground, Handmaiden of the Everqueen attempting to shut down these Chameleon Skinks and rescue some of the Sister Avalon. 10 models here could rally and do a decent amount of damage, but the other units are completely shattered now, which is a massive loss as they need that armor piercing long-range firepower basically to drag down these Bastiladons. Slann Mage Priest, also not a great melee combatant, but he still has a pretty huge amount of weapon strength of 320, and will probably be able to finish off enough in combat in his weakened state, but GG's! Yeah, he could have stuck a charge with those Bastiladons at the end there, but unfortunately they're already very beat up by the shooting, and honestly, the MVPs here certainly the Bastiladons. 90 and 109 kills, pretty much single-handedly took down the Sisters of Avalon, plus did a huge amount of work onto the Phoenix Guard. But really nice early play by Consul Rome. Love the Aliphanar pick as well, and it's so much damage early on, but not quite enough. He really needs to bring down the Scarvetchen instead of just wound him at least one of the Bastiladons, but it's tough. GG. Up next we do have Scourge of the West, who I've just seen has popped on the line. So we'll drop him a little invite anyway. Password is 123 if you're listening in chat, and we'll get you in. And what map should we go to? Oh, I'm going to get off and grab something to eat. Didn't think on for something. No worries. So, Suave as well. You will be up, buddy. Can have console back if you want. I will message console. We'll either have a... If console doesn't want to play, we'll just move Suave in. Da, 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 da. Oh, what's up, Router? Oh, you want a meme map? Nice. Cool, cool, cool. So how's that? Okay, Squad Rush is here. Hey, dude. Hey, dude. Give me a sec to replace Noob. So, Console Room, where art thou? If you want to come back, buddy, you can still play. I'll message him on Discord quickly. If not, we'll just get Suave to pop in instead. Cool. So we'll hopefully have Console Room up again, Scourge West here. Then we'll have Suave and Pacta. Pretty good. Let's change the map while I think about it. Let's go Valley of Thieves. And we'll see. Is it legal in tournaments to bring free diamonds and a slang? Yes, it is. It is indeed, Philip. Nice to see you, man. So if I've seen you around before as well, welcome to the channel. But it is indeed, yes. I can't remember the exact limits, but if you go on the tournament Discord, if you are on one, who's next on the list in case? I don't think we had any backup players on the list. Let me double check. So I've got loads of messages everywhere. King of the Hill queue? No, I don't think we do. So we can just carry on down the list and add perhaps Ronin at the back of it, if Ronin is now free to play. Because Console Room hasn't responded just yet. So Suave, we're going to get you in, buddy. If you're around. Boop. And Ronin, if you want to hop in at the end, if you want to be, because I know you dropped out earlier, if you want to come in at the very end of the stream, let me know. And be more than happy to have you. So, New for Life, going to bow out undefeated in 3. So we now have 2 contestants. We are going to have to go for blind picks once more. And we still have Scourge of the West, Suave, and Pacta to play, and hopefully Ronin. Hey, dude. Hey, hey. Hope you're all good. Blind picks, as there is no king. Yes, blind picks indeed, Suave. Cool, so let's update the scoreboard quickly. So New for Life did bow out there with 3 wins, undefeated. Very impressive indeed, representing the Extreme Meme team hard there. And we do have Suave and Scourge of the West. And unfortunately, Suave, you are going to have to start on the 0. Cool. Sweet. So I have Suave's pick here. Right, let's check Discord for Scourges. Cool. While those I wait for him to send out, I just need to see. My Discord kind of seemed to explode for some reason. What's happened? He's a freaking dinosaur. I'm a samurai. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, looks like we're all good. Looks like we're all good. It's just Pacta seeing his the work he has done by changing his name. Cool. I'll message Scourge, send me for blind pick, please. On Discord. are on here? Just double check that I haven't missed it. Wouldn't be the first time. Looks like we're all good. Have a little bit of a drink while I wait. Any questions as well? Feel free to ask now while we're in this little bit of downtime. Sure thing. Damn, I wanted to see Noob winning the entire series. No worries, Ronnie. You can pop in at the end. Also allows Pacta to play at least someone else as well if he does manage to win the finals. I think, unfortunately, the last couple of King of the Hills, he's always been kind of at the very end of the queue. Sorry for the noises. I am drinking a very manly Capri Sun. So, we have Scourge of the West up against Suave here. We'll then have the Mighty Pacta and Ronin. So, still got 3 games left. Should be some good fun. If you guys are enjoying as well, I hate to kind of always say this, but please do consider giving a like and subscribing, all that good stuff. It really helps out the channel when we're kind of in this small growing stage. Randomed it if this how it works. You can pick anyone, man. So it looks like Scorch of the West actually went for a randomizer to see who he got, but he can actually pick anyone. So the way blinds work is you just send me any faction you want to play, and without your opponent picking or banning anything, no one knows anything, and you just play. You can get a lot of mirror matches, and that is how the first game as well between Noob for Life and Stormrunner ended up being a chaos mirror match, which was a little bit mental, but good fun overall. Cool. So we have Chaos versus Lizardmen. Certainly a matchup which favours the Lizardmen in my humble opinion. But at the same time, I have certainly been picked apart as well before when I am Lizardmen. You can go for the traditional Death Blob build with lots of Temple Guard, Croak and all that nastiness. Or equally, what I like to actually do with Lizardmen recently is go a lot of Salamanders and Razordons and try and kite the Chaos a little bit with 1 or 2 big dinos as well for a bit of battle line protection and so forth. Can make some interesting builds though and some pretty good fights. I think people have certainly started to understand this matchup a little bit. When I first started playing Total War, no one knew how to deal with the Lizardmen as Chaos basically. They'd just go Hell Cannon, Hellbirds and pray for the best. They'd win the Monster Mash. But should we go? We're going to try out Valley of Thieves today because it rings true in my head. Like I've seen this map a lot, probably on other people's streams, and I want to incorporate some more maps into my tournaments. So we're going to play it and see how it goes. Damn, I want to see Noob winning the entire series, says Ronin. But don't worry, man. You can win it in his place. I'll run the ring next time. Yeah, thank you for playing Noob for Life. Noob is my dad. He's certainly the daddy of the stream so far. Coming in 3 undefeated, bowing out very strong there. Noob for Life as well. Been around a long time on the channel, which is always good to see him back in action as well. Which is all good fun. So while these guys sort out their builds, going to quickly check my Discord. Looks like we're all good in the hood there. And I see someone has joined as well. Quaser Jake, welcome to the Discord as well. I'm assuming you've just hopped off of the YouTube. But yeah, if you want to get involved in future tournaments, King of the Hills and so forth, just hit me up on Discord, link in the description down below. Discord is the best way to get into the Total War Warhammer community. There's a load of good Discords for new and experienced players. Noobhammer, the tournament Discord, Turin's Discord, there's so many, and it really helps you get into the game, meet people and make friends basically. Good luck, have fun. Looks like Suave is ready. Good to see some good sportsmanship as well. Both these guys have played on the channel before. Suave, formerly known as Worsha, is an absolute beast of a warrior. Very good player indeed. And I believe won one of my Death Before Dishonours before as well, and has won some King of the Hill. Scourge of the West, equally an incredibly good player. I think he took a little bit of a break from the game and has recently returned. But very mighty foe indeed, so I'm expecting a very high level game here. Really good luck, have fun. Let's hop in and see what they do. I'm excited to see... You know what, I really want to try an air build here from the Lizardmen up against Chaos and see how that goes. You were going for it. He certainly was indeed. Doing very good. And showing off a lot of new life skills. Certainly improved a lot as well since I started the stream, which is good fun. And let's hop in here. So, nice open map here. Valley of Thieves. Not quite sure where the thieves are hiding, but I'm sure they're Probably coming in here to try and rob some of these tombs and so forth. But overall, really cool map, quite open, perfect for casting, because I can just see every unit kind of all the time, and also helps out the players a little bit. There's this nice little dip in the middle, so you can play it defensively and try and shoot your opponent from miles away, but it's quite a long map, so often you'll have to see both players advance into this kind of kill and death pit in the middle. We have the big pyramids in the distance, looking a little bit mythical as well. It's good to see, and it looks like they've just about loaded in. I love how this top left bar, this is such a minor detail, but I love how it changes depending on which faction you're watching. So obviously we have the nasty Chaos one right here. So, I was about to say the current king, but we don't only have a king yet, so both the challengers, let's go through Suave's Chaos Forces first. We have 3 units of Marauder Horsemen, or Horse Masters, or no, 2 Horsemen, 1 Horse Master in the front line, going to be doing some really decent skirmish, as well as a couple of units of Chaos Warhounds trying to hunt down skinks and so forth. We have Chaos Marauders mixed in with Chaos Warriors with Hellbirds all the way along the front lines, and basic Chaos Warriors as well. We also have Mirror Guard, so these guys getting a lot of love today, the 3rd time they've been picked so far. Chaos Marauders, Chaos Warriors, and also the Summoners of Rage, Regiment-renowned Dragon Ogres, very popular in this matchup, and a very popular unit overall, huge anti-large damage and pretty good durability. And it looks like we've gone old school, so we've gone for the Dragon Ogres plus Kolek Sunny to the Beast. Can't remember who it was saying earlier that they don't like Kolek and they prefer Archeon. Well, Suave certainly trying to make a point here and prove Kolek's worth. We also have a Chaos Sorcerer of Metal, very popular with the Chaos Gods, coming in with Final Transmutation and Searing Doom. And it looks like that's going to be it for the majority of his forces there, so pretty cool, compact force indeed. It's going to be interesting to see if the Lizmen, what they've gone for. Oh, the glory, the pure glory. Scourge of the West being a man of the people here, coming in with red-crested skinks, skink cohorts of javelins in the front line, and those red-crested protecting the flanks. Couple of units of Temple Guard. We'll also have a feral Dreadsaurian, Lord Mazda Mundi coming in. In place his boy's banishment, he has indeed, that could be very clutch here for these big engagements. Shield of the Old Ones as well, Apotheosis and Nets, coming in with the Umbral Tide, one of my favourite units, and a unit I wish I saw more people use. I think they're incredibly deadly, managing to deliver big burst damage to large foes, and have Stalk as well, so they can kind of sneak in there, and they're the best of doggos. Look at them, look how cool they are with their colour schemes. We'll also have some Cold One Riders in the back line, just to protect out as well, protect these guys, as it's going to be tough. He's probably going to get swarmed and wrapped quite a lot by the Marauder Horsemen, but once again, Umbral Tide very good at dealing with them themselves, but they are quite heavily outnumbered. Dreadsaurian, look at this thick boy doing his best, living his best life here, wearing his headgear, got his party hat on him, and going to be interesting to see how he performs. He doesn't want to get surrounded by halberds for too long, and that is a lot of javelins coming his way. We also have the Pohawks Sentinels here, which could be a decent tool as well, helping to drive a horseman where possible. And they, of course, have their very powerful Rock Drop, which was probably going to be dropped here on the Mirror Guard, you would assume, or maybe even the Halberds. Looks like that's it for the builds. 2 very fun builds. I'm just excited to get to see a Dreadsaurian. Looks like they're both ready, and the battle does get underway. Who is your money on, guys? Ducky Boy better than Turin? Oh, at what? Not sure what? I haven't left a screen blocker on, have I? I hope not. I hope not. But thank you for the compliment. I'm not sure at what. But Torin, for those who don't know, I'm sure you do know, but I highly recommend his channel as well. Very good caster, probably the most popular multiplayer caster. So I'm sure if you found me, you found him as well. And I actually recently played in a tournament with him. And I didn't get to meet him in the tournament, unfortunately, but very good player himself. So as the Lizmen forces do start to advance there, Temple Guard going to be tough as nails to deal with, and if they can saturate on top of the Dreadsaurian and help protect it from Kolek and so forth, it could do some really decent work. But this is my main concern for the Lizmen forces, and that is going to be these very nasty horsemen coming in here. But the Umbral Tide going to be a good counter if they can get some early shots in. Plus, actually, escape cohorts with javelins doing some really decent work here. The Pohawk Sentinels need to get moving there, starting to take some very unnecessary damage here. And the Umbral Tide does lose some shots here, doing some okay damage there. Making some pretty good hits, dragging down quite a few horsemen there, actually. Look at that burst damage. This is what I'm talking about. The Umbral Tide, such a good unit. On the left-hand flank here as well, Scourge Rest driving away some of these Poison Hounds as well with Lord Mazda Mundi, which is a really nice pick for him as well. Chaos Warhounds need to get back here and hop on top of the Umbral Tide as quickly as possible. The front line does get underway. Temple Guard holding the line against Chaos Marauders. In come the Summoners of Rage, who will need to cycle charge here. They don't want to stay in the engagement too long. The Temple Guard will drag them down, but it looks like Suave really trying to overwhelm this one unit of Temple Guard to delete it and drag it down. But nice retaliation here. Shield of the Old Ones is popped, and the Umbral Tide very well protected here. And so Cold One Sparrows need to push out though, to protect them from that range fire. Going to be getting some huge damage in on these Summoners of Rage as the Feral Dreadsaurian does move forward as well. Very wisely here though, Suave does start to rotate his forces out of this nasty engagement here. and hop instead onto the Lord Mazda Mundi with Kolak. Searing Doom coming down as well onto that Feral Saurian and the Temple God, doing some pretty decent damage overall. Emerald Tide starting to advance as well. Backline though, they are a little bit open here. Where those Cold One Spear Riders gone, or just basic ones, sorry, they are driving off one unit. They need to get back and protect here. A little lapse in micro there, but it's really tough to kind of manage this many forces, as the other unit probably should have charged in combat there to try and shut those guys down. Feral Saurian is taking a huge beating now, and it is starting to rampage as well up against Hellbirds and the Summons of Rage, but it is distracting a lot of troops and helping the Temple Guard hold the line, although it looks like they have broken here. And Lord Mazamili taking a little bit of a butt slamming from Kolak, who has popped a Scroll of Shielding himself. In the back line, Orc Sentinels hunting down the Chaos Sorcerer Metal, trying their best. A really lovely banishment coming down here, really nice play, doing some huge damage to Chaos Marauders, plus netting in the Summons of Rage, allowing the Dread Saurian to escape and try and hunt down Kolak Sun Eater. We also have the Umbral Tide as well, getting some pretty decent shots in here. Looks like Suave trying to sneak into that backline, just about managing to protect them for now. The Umbral Tide getting in there, doing some decent damage as well to Kolak, helping burst him down. If this Feral Saurian can force himself over here, he might be able to 2v1 him, and that would certainly be a nice coup there for the Lisbon. Temple Guard are rallying to the front line. Unfortunately, both managed to get dragged down relatively quickly here, not doing a huge amount of damage. Really nice play by Suave, focusing those guys down, not allowing them to saturate on top of the big targets. In the back line, Umbral Tide, though, have finally been swarmed by Marauder Horsemen and the Horse Masters. Cold One Spear Riders getting in here and going to tear these guys apart, but unfortunately, the Umbral Tide probably won't escape here. But overall, not too bad of an engagement, although it does lose a lot of that punch in the Little Man forces. Feral Saurian unfortunately does start to break here. Nice Mundi is going to look like it's going to be thinking about falling back here as well, as some Red Crested Skinks are sacrificed to the gods here, holding the line. But Temple Guard in there as well. Nice Mundi needs to come in here and help clear the chaff to allow the Temple Guard to really hunt down the Summoners of Rage and Kolak. That's pop standard die. A nice Searing Doom coming in as well, but only really doing damage to Red Crested Skinks, so probably would have been better pops on top of the Temple Guard. A nice gooning attempt here on the Chaos Sorcerer of Metal by Lord Mazda Mundi, trying to hunt him down where possible, and a nice net here onto Kolak Sun Eater and some rallied Umbral Tide, getting off a couple of desperate volleys, but really nice play by Suave here. Not the Horse Masters are going to swoop in, and he's completely won the mobility game, which is something we've seen a lot this King of the Hill, is whoever gets dominance off the map and gains that mobility is having the better of the fight so far. But, you know, that doesn't work in every matchup, but it certainly does help have the mobility advantage. Cold-Blooded popped on the Feral Dread Saurian, plus an Apotheosis, keeping him fighting here, trying to drag down Kolak Sun Eater down to 1,400 health, up against the 2,400 of the Saurian here, and Kolak is starting to break, guys. I don't know, this is close. The Lizardmen might be able to drag this back if they can drag off Kolak, who's a very, very healthy Mazda Mundi, with healing potential as well, I might add, hunting down, but it looks like the Chaos Sorcerer of Metal has managed to rally, pop another Searing Doom down, doing huge damage to that Dread Saurian and breaking him. Kolak does break at the same time and is dragged down. Mazda Mundi, Zlak there, stomping his feet in defiance, dragging down the Mighty Lord, proving once and for all who is the King of the Jungle. A banishment, unfortunately, looks like it went away from this main blob. That could have been huge if he dropped that right here. I don't know if that was a misclick or if I just missed it and unfortunately kind of spiraled away over here. Umbral Tide once again back in action, but a ton of the Lizmen units are now shattering as the balance power goes heavily against them. Mazda Mundi hunting down some Chaos Marauders, trying to force off troops where he can, but Summons of Rage, still 4 models, plus 37 Halberds. Oh no, those were the Warriors. Halberds, 37 of those guys as well. It's going to be tough. There's also still some ammunition left on top of these Marauder Horsemen. Umbral Tide as well, looking like they're going to charge into combat gloriously here. And yeah, the ammunition, you'd expect them just to turn, focus down Mazda Mundi and possibly break him by clearing up the rest of his forces. Umbral Tide being pretty good here though, helping out Scourge of the West, but are finally being shut down for good this time, it looks like it. And yeah, all the units of Lizmen are being driven off. It's going to be Mazda Mundi against the world. And maybe he could win the melee combat against all these troops, but not with the javelins coming in. He does break the Summoners of Rage, however, and breaks another unit of Chaos Marauders as well, who are currently terrified, and he is rampaging through these guys right now. Umbral Tide left alone again to a rally. They need to focus down the Marauder Horsemen, as that long-range firepower is really going to be a pain. But looks like they're trying to finish off the Chaos Sorcerer Metal, which equally isn't the worst pick in the world, of course. Lord Mazda Mundi trying to drag himself away where possible, but now the Horsemen going to be coming down, throwing javelins in, but really they need to be taken off fire at will. and save those javelins for the big thick boy. They do shatter the Umbral Tide as soon as they connect in, and poor Mazdamundi is now going to be forced to fight, which is a little bit unfortunate for him. But yeah, if you look at the battlefield as a whole, it is Mazdamundi, a little red blob in the sea of blue here, trying to drag it down, but Ban's power plenty against him. But he's holding firm for now, 2,200 health, just doing his best life here, trying to tear down Merigard. But unfortunately, I think he is going to break. If he had saved a banishment for this point, maybe, but it was going to be tough. Once again, mobility winning the game here. But very good. Yes, Pacta, you are up next. It's always good to see. Lizard Boys for the win. You're going to cast those games from you and Turin. So I didn't play against Turin. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but there's basically, I think I'm allowed to reveal because it's coming out tomorrow anyway. Basically, a load of YouTubers got together and did a tournament. I'm not going to explain too much about the tournament because you're going to find out literally tomorrow on multiple channels. And the idea is I think everyone's going to cast their own games from the tournament and kind of put it all into a big friendly playlist. So people can hop between channels and so forth. But it was created by Samurai Warrior, who is an Italian YouTuber. That's not actually his name of his fin. And it's super cool. And again, sorry, I don't want to say too much, but yeah. You're going to be getting some good tournament action on multiple channels over the next couple of days. But I don't want to spoil too much who's in it and who's not. But I didn't actually play Turin. He was just in the he was on the other side of the tournament from me, I think. GG, well played. GG. So Mighty Pacta, it is you, and then Ronin to round us out. So let's get Pacta in. Oh, representing ODM here. Oh, let's update the scoreboard. Suave up 1. Scourge West. Very decent effort though there. Very decent effort. Almost. Managing to drag down Kolek was really key. If he'd done that a tiny bit earlier, perhaps he would have broken some more forces off. But yeah, unfortunately, it was a bit tough losing the Umbral Tide and so forth. But they did decent. Okay, so we're going to do a decent map for this one for Pacta, because he always has to play on the horrible maps. But the map after this will probably be very nasty. So I think we're going to do Storm Demon. Hello there. Pacta. Oh no, Pacta. Hello there. I wish I knew how to get that video up for subscribers because it involves the words hello there, but it is not the number one. So, Suave, picks, and bands 2. I'm going to get this started. What's up, Alex Moran? Hope you're doing good today. Skaven stands for sneaky, conniving animals. Voraciously, seen viciously, eating, no furs, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. So I think Summoners Arrange bad pick for Monster Match. I think Summoners Arrange have anti-large, if I'm correct. And they seem to be the most common pick, but that'd be interesting to look into. I haven't actually looked. I don't play Chaos too often. Dragon Ogres and Temple Guard. It worked. So sometimes you would think like charge Dragon Ogres, for example, they're into the Temple Guard. Terrible idea. But if you don't keep them in combat, they can do perfectly fine. And he just tried to burst damage those Temple Guard as much as possible to break them off the battlefield, which worked very well. Chuck Kolek in there, chuck everything at them. And yes, they're anti-large, and yes, they're very elite, but they will get dragged down by the sheer amount of damage coming at them, and they will eventually break. And as you can see, they got broken off. The late game kind of resurgence from the men as the Temple Guard came back into action. But it dragged them away from the battle long enough that he then managed to kind of, you know, take down the Feral Dread Saurin and then start to focus down Mazdamundi and so forth. So, Suave picks Chaos. Once again, the Chaos getting a lot of love this stream. And is banning Wood Elves and Lizardmen. Pacta is going Druchii. Nice, nice. And we are playing on Storm Demon, which has some very cool cinematic effects with these flaming kind of warp stone kind of meteors crashing down. Please be merciful with the map. We're merciful this time. But I believe, as is tradition, Raptor sent me a map to, is it me after Suave? Yes, it was. Oops, I've got other messages. Sorry, I necessarily replied to Constant real quick. Q. Cool, Suave up 1-0 now. So technically, if Suave wins against Pacta and then also beats Ronin, he can tie for Noob for Life for King of the Stream, which would be pretty good. Rubber Duck's accent is amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I don't really know what my accent is because I guess I don't listen to myself, or I'm just used to it, I suppose. Looks like Suave is ready. But yeah, that's actually one of the most surprising things about starting a YouTube channel so far, is people mentioning my my voice, I suppose. Suave, good luck, have fun, is prepared, and Pacta is ready. Let's get this going. I expect a bit of a skirmish build coming in from Pacta with at least maybe 2 chariots and some Dark Riders. Try and pick apart Colex and those big nasties, but I assume Suave going to go big chicken to counter that. That's my idea. We did Fall of Man Palpatine. That was the second game. Ronin, no, I don't want to play a map chosen by Raptor. He sent me one. I forgot to look it up just there, but unfortunately, we have a lovely Raptor map. So we load him. Yeah, beautiful map overall. I reckon relatively balanced as well. I yeah, got all these kind of awesome craters as well with all the warp energy, pure energy. Yes, yes. We haven't actually seen any Scave in this stream, so it'd be nice to see those guys in action. Mainly Chaos, to be honest. Chaos and a lot of Lizardmen, which is always good fun as well. Old school grudge matches. There's a poor little set of trees as well, somehow growing in this desolate land. But yeah, pretty good overall. Nice Lizardman template in the background here as well. It's always good to see the Lizardman architecture, very Aztec-based, but a little bit of kind of different parts of kind of fantasy kind of added in as well. Looks like we are here. So let's have a look at the current King, Suave, and his reigning victorious Chaos forces. We have some Marauding Horse Masters mixed in with Horsemen and another unit of Horse Masters, so 2 of the more elite ones this time. Once again, escorted here by Chaos Warhounds with Poison, a perfect escort for the Marauding Horse Masters to scare off Dark Riders and so forth that want to get hands on these guys. We do have a load of Chaos Warriors, including a Halberd variety. Chaos Marauders, a very mixed front line overall. And once again, the Mirror Guard getting their 4th pick. Really awesome colour scheme with these guys. I love the purple helmets and so forth, and the reflections in the shields. Some more Chaos Marauders and some Halberds as well. This time we have a Dragon Ogre Shagoth, the big pupper himself, coming in here, wielding his mighty blade. And it's going to probably be working as the battering ram of this army, but also the bodyguard to the almighty Chicken Drumstick Lord himself, Suffroyal the Everwatcher. So big old pigeon, right down here, looking pretty creepy. Pretty creepy dude indeed. I love that he's a character in this. He's a very cool dude. He's got stand-up die, arcane conduit, all that good stuff, scroll of leeching. But the main spells, final transmutation and Searing Doom. Once again, very powerful abilities indeed. Now for the forces, and very wide forces here looks like, or wider cav force at least, of Pacta and the Dark Elves. We have some Dark Riders, looks like 2 units on this flank and 1 unit on the left. They're going to be escorting some Dark Riders with repeater crossbows. We have 2 of those guys, and they're going to be rolling dirty with 2 Scourge Runner chariots. So I really like the pick of the Dark Riders here to kind of counter, in a way, what Suave's done. So the Marauder Horsemen and Dark Riders don't really want to engage each other, but the Riders probably get the better of that engagement. I think they have longer range, so when the Chaos Hounds come in to protect them, then you move in with the Dark Riders. So early skirmish game, certainly going to be very key. We then have quite a small infantry force, and Pacta coming in with a couple units of Dread Spears, mixing with some very elite Black Guard of Nagarond here in the centre pocket, and we also have Harganeth Executioners in the rear as well. And of course, as you expect, Malekith up in the Dragon in the Sky. In my opinion, the most competitive pick. I know some people like Marathia as well. Both of them very, very powerful indeed. Simply coming in with Soul Stealer. So that's his only spell. Could be doing that probably to counter a lot of these final transmutations. Ready? Have fun, mate. Good to see all the good sportsmanship, and that is a good way as well to get obviously brought back to the channel as well. But luckily, I don't think I've ever really had any problems with people being rude or anything on the channel, which is so good. Although it looks like Dark Riders taking an absolute hammer in there early doors from the Marauder Horsemen, as Hounds instantly hop on top of these Dark Riders here, and they need to flee quickly. Malekith could probably jump back and try and protect those guys. Dark Riders are busy engaging the Marauder Horsemasters instead, as the early engagement does happen. Chaos really trying to push the engagement here and rush forward as much as possible. Looks like the Dark Elves happy to sit at the back of the map here while their skirmish forces take to the field here, thinking they have the upper hand, but Chaos Warhound's doing a really decent job here and assisting driving back Dark Riders. Some early damage done as well, but nothing too catastrophic here. Just a little bit of damage here and there, and now the Scourge Runner Chariot should start getting a bit of decent hammering down on the Dragon Ogre Shagoth. See some shots coming in as well, but mostly duped here. Looks like he's taking a little bit of damage now, but one of these chats has been caught. If they get pinned in here by the hounds, this Dragon Ogre Shagoff needs to turn and engage. Fortunately, tiny bit too late, but really good reaction there by Suave to turn him to attack. But it looks like the chariots, for the most part, are just about going to be able to escape. And you can see how quickly the Dark Elves are being forced back here to their main line. Really nice swarming coming in from the Chaos. But they have lost one unit of the Hounds, unfortunately, being driven back there into nothingness as Marauder Horse Marders do once again engage forward. Malekith flying high on his dragon here. The chariots do fling a few shots into the Everwatcher, but he has so much missile resistance, it's probably not worth it. Target down the Dragon Ogre Shagoff instead, and try and grind out the chicken in melee combat. Horsemen driving along that front line now. Pretty happy just to get some throwing axes and javelins and so forth into Malekith, driving away the Dark Riders, who should probably turn and engage from the safety of their Dread Spears when possible. Some early cycle charging coming by the Scourge Runner chariots as well. Good multi-use units overall. Can do some decent work, but also escape and fire in as well, trying to bait out the Dragon Ogre Shagoff where possible. A massive volley of arrows now coming into the Marauder Horse Masters, trying to drag those guys down, who unfortunately are thrown into Dread Spears, not what they really want to be doing at all. But of course, so much micromanagement going on, it's much easier to spot everything up from here. So it looks like Hounds are driving these guys away here, but if all three units want to charge the Hounds, I might be able to break them quickly with the help of Malekith. And Miragod trying to push through on the Dread Spears, but really nice play here by Pacta, dragging back those Dread Spears and counter-charging with the Harganeth Executions instead to get a decent engagement. I really like that play quite a lot right there. Arifire still trying to whittle down the Horse Masters, which isn't a bad idea at all. In this far engagement, it looks like some of the Hounds did manage to catch some Dark Riders, and with the help of the Everwatcher and Shagoff and all these nasty things, unfortunately it looks like Dark Riders have been dragged off. But this whole time, chariots have been getting shots in, doing some okay damage to these guys in general. And the Hounds, though, do manage to regain some of their courage and hop on top of these Dark Riders, which is a big problem here. But we do have the combat variety counter-charging these Hounds. But they can't do it for long, because the Dragon Ogre bodyguard here and the Everwatcher simply can come here and crunch down these guys. A huge Serum Doom coming down on the Harganeth Executions, who were dumpstering the Mirror Guard, making that engagement a much more even trade there, as Malekith does swoop around this front line, trying to assist his troops where he can. We still have some very healthy Blackguard of Nagrond in here as well. Looks like one unit has forced off these Chaos Warhounds at last, with the big old chicken floating in, trying to do some decent damage. Both forces trying to get the upper engagement in the skirmish, knowing that mobility late game could be key here. Hounds, though, have been driven off for the most part, but they could well rally. And it looks like the Dark Elves maybe won the mobility game. I don't know, though. There's still so many thrown axes active back here, but they are currently just simply thrown in. Oh, Harganeth Execution is not a bad pick at all. Looks like he's a Plor Backguard of Nagrond, probably going to get hit here. They do move just in time, but still, unfortunately, a little bit too little too late. And a nice Serum Doom comes down and starts decimating their health a little bit. Malekith as well. Scroll of Legion has been popped to him, so he's going to be falling back up into the air. And it looks like he does manage to get off a big fat Soul Seer, though, getting a massive blob here on Chaos Warriors, the Ever Chicken, and the Dragon Ogre Shagoff. Looks like Malekith was putting a bit of a hurts down on the Everwatcher as well. Dark Riders used very effectively there to chase off Chaos Warhounds. And, this is so close to call. I feel like the Dark Elves slowly gaining the upper hand, however. The Marauders are slowly carving their way through the front line. Horsemasters starting to waste ammunition, though, which is really bad, as Dark Riders with repeated crossbows still have an absolute ton for that late skirmish game. Chaos Warriors slowly forcing their way through some Dark Riders, and in comes Malekith, hunting down that Dragon Ogre Shagoff, who is trying to get protected by the Chaos Warriors with halberds, but Malekith comes bounding in here, deleting that Dragon Ogre Shagoff's last bit of health. But what I expect now is he's going to try and get back up in the air, chase this guy off, and then come in for the snipe on the Everwatcher. And there's not too much Suave can do unless he can pin in Malekith now. The Dark Riders trying to charge in to ensure that doesn't happen. And down goes the Dragon Ogre Shagoff there, in very dramatic effect there. So they're trying to earn his acting credentials. And army losses starting to set in now as that Dragon Ogre does go down. The Everwatcher being chased by Blackguard of Nagrond and Malekith. I don't think there's any escape for you, my friend, as the Horsemasters starting to run out of ammunition. Scourge Runner Chariots being used effectively here to now cycle charge in the front line as well, up against Mirrorguard and so forth. Really nice play with those so far. And another Soul Sealer does come down. And the poor chicken going to take a huge amount of damage here. It's more used kind of on those big blob engagements, but it looks like it did manage to catch more of the Horsemasters as well. With another Serum Doom coming down. Suave not going down without a fight, deleting more Blackguard Nagrond. That chicken has done a huge amount of work so far, and is still kicking up to only 22 kills, but I guess it's the HP damage which counts there. GG from Suave, he thinks it's all over, and it's going to be tough. Horsemasters starting to run out of ammunition, army losses do set in, and a great game. That was a really good game. That was pretty damn cool. So GG's overall, valiant defeat indeed. Great work of those Syrian Dooms trying to counter Pact, but he managed to just about win that skirmish game, and that is a really good showcase match of skirmish skill in general. It looked early doors like Suave had the advantage in the skirmish game, picking off a few Dark Riders and so forth. But Pacta played it patient, fell back to his lines, and then when things started getting messy with the frontline engagements, that's when he really took over the skirmish game, using that micro to his advantage and eventually drank down Suave. But Suave has been a very mighty combatant so far and does bow out there. Was that the last game? One more. One more. So we do have the mighty Ronin stepping in now. So if you'd like to pop in Ronin, password is 123, and I need to hop off, grab some dinner, and oh god, what's time? Try and get a video prepared for tomorrow as well, before I head to sleep. Unfortunately, I do have work tomorrow, so the video will probably be out in the evening. I'd say 6 or 7ish. Should be good fun. Cool, cool. So let's update the scoreboard here. So unfortunately, Suave, very good effort there, but he is down there. Short reign as king. Pacta is 1 up. And we have the mighty Ronin coming in now. Check Discord, as I do indeed have a message. Looks like we're all good. I wonder what Raptor has kicked up for us. It's a lovely map. Let's go double check what it is. So, Mr. Raptor. I don't even know how to say that, so we're just going to go to it. Arnheim is the map of choice here. Oh god, it looks like a very narrow map here, with huge amounts of impassable terrain. Should be good fun. Hello there, seriously, Raptor? Raptor has spoken. Oh well, could be worse. Pacta to pick and ban 2. The verdict has fallen. What is this then? This horrible map. Someone play Skaven. I need my babies to win. I think in the last King of the Hill we saw a ton of Skaven. I'm trying to remember. I actually played them as well. So I've started a new. Also, it's kind of an old thing that I've kind of rehashed and redone. But I'm going to probably be doing a quick battles stream every week as well, where I just play on quick battles, and people can feel free to snipe me and so forth. But I actually played Skaven in the last one as well, so if you want to see some Skaven action, recommend going back and checking those out as well. Pacta picks High Elves, bans Dark Elves and Norse, because High Elves and Chaos have been super popular today. A little bit of Lizardmen sprinkled in as well. But Clay doesn't want to fight his Dark Elf King. And Norska very good at swarming as well, so if Pacta wants to go for that skirmish play, or the long range play we had. Bad chitin map, it is indeed. Who knows? Who knows these? I have a light British accent, apparently. Okay. Not too hard to understand while keeping the British style and having a very gentle voice. Awesome. Go Lizardmen with Croak and hold the pass. This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they die. So it would be very cool. Temple Guard holding the line with Croak just sitting amongst them, chanting and dropping bombs. I'm going to try out a new build. Oh dear God. Oh no, okay, Ronin's gone Empire. I've got a feeling there's going to be a war wagon or two lurking around. That isn't Skaven. Skaven don't exist, Zachary. I don't know where you've heard about Skaven, but I recommend going to seek out your local witch hunter, and I'm sure he'll explain things to you fully. Yeah, a little bit of drink because my voice is starting to die a little bit. And yes, yes. So both these guys representing their fellow clans as well. Ronin of Extreme Beam Team, super cool clan, who we are going to be having very shortly, hopefully, some clan battles up against as well with DBD, which is my own clan. Well, I founded, but it's you know, it's every member. Yeah, the clan is. I don't own it, you know. It's all the members in the clan. It is their clan basically. which should be some good fun. And also packed up as an ODM, so we're sure to get some clan battles up against them as well. I was hoping to do it this week, but we couldn't unfortunately do Death Before Dishonor season finals, which we'll be doing hopefully pretty shortly. Trying to organise it with the guys, but obviously it's trying to get 4 players all ready on the same day, which can be tough. But we may also try some best of 7s on the channel, trying to get 2 kind of high tier players come against each other as well, and try that format out. I know a few other people have done it before, so it's not a new idea, but could be pretty good fun indeed. Ready when you are, mate? Ready! Let's go, I'm excited. The final game of the stream, we shall see glory. I love that. My local Under Empire come into a basement near you. I hope not. I don't think I could survive the Skaven. I feel like a Skaven slave I could probably beat the crap out of. Like, I'm not like the biggest guy in the world, but I reckon I could do it. But it'd still be horrible. Like, it'd probably bite you and claw you and stuff. And I think after a few waves, I'd be beat down. Unfortunately, I don't have the holy power of Sigma to protect me. Oh my god, what is this beauty? What is this absolute beauty of a map? This is certainly a 300 map, holding the pass alongside the sea here. What a cool map though. What a cool view here, looking down onto the rocks with the smited ships that have crashed amongst them. We have some decent trees as well, and I've played this map on ladder. Now I think about it, way back in the day when I first started playing, I was forced to play on this map. I was Dowie up against Lizardman, I believe. Can't believe I remember that. What a map. So we have these 2 very high points on this left-hand flank, which probably both forces are going to be deploying up here. And it looks like you can swoop down the middle as well to try and flank and surround your opponent. Lots of trees as well for sneaky stabbings, but for the most part, it is this long pass right here, where we're going to see most likely most of the action, unless they both take to the field just here. Nice castle gates as well of the High Elves here. Look how puny that gate is. Imagine trying to march a force through them. Unless this whole thing opens up, perhaps. That'd be an absolute logistical nightmare there, but still very cool map indeed. And unfortunately I can't go any higher than that, annoyingly, which is fine. I wanted to have a look at the whole castle, but so we can do that. There we go. Oh, that is a cool sight to behold indeed. That mighty fortress. Why would you ever want to attack something? So, like, it looks terrifying to attack, actually. You break through the first wall, and then you meet the castle. They'd be raining arrows and, I'm sure, all types of nasty magic down upon you. So, let's have a little look at the Challengers forces first here, coming in with Ronin. We do, in fact, have a couple of units of Pistolets in the front line. Very popular pick. I think made pretty popular as well by Darv Plays as well, who uses these guys to very vicious efficiency. We have a couple of Empire Knights as well for protection. So make sure nothing was deployed up on top of that hill, which should also do a pretty decent job. But for the main line, we've got a mixture of swordsmen mixed in with... Is it just swordsmen? Do we have the regiment around? No, just basic swordsmen. Looks like they are chevroned up, however. We also have some handgunners, some crossbowmen, and some more handgunners. So a nice mixed range corps there. And then Empire Knights into the sun there. Looks like we have 3 units of Empire Knights, some Reichsguard, and the Pistoliers. So a nice cav contingent. We also have a steam tank, which is so glorious to see this bad boy in action. It's unbreakable, causes terror, can do some decent damage. It's a little bit of a meme because of how expensive it is, but it can actually be okay, especially if it catches your opponent out. We have Balthasar Gelt, the beast himself, up on top of his flying Pegasus. He's very fast. Staff of Volanis, Arcane Conduit, Final Transmutation, Glittering Robes, and Plague of Rust. He should be able to stay out of combat, maybe do some cycle charging and drop those nasty spells. Now for the current king of all the realm, Pacta, and his health forces, we have a large amount of Cav Art himself. Silver Helms, looks like we have 3 units of those guys. They're going to be dueling out with those 4 knights. Not going to go too well for the Silver Helms, I don't think. We have Lothran Seaguard, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they're assisting, Finns will certainly go much better. We also have a couple of white lines at Chase, Spearman in the front line, a Mage of Heavens, which is interesting, and Tyrion. So Tyrion's going to be the real punching power, to be honest, of this high elf force. Apart from that, it's a bit of a kind of slow grind army. But Tyrion, very decent duelist overall, and of course has brought Sunfang and Feint as well, and Heart of Avalon, which is so powerful. We also have Mage of Heavens, which is an interesting choice here. Haven't seen you in a little while. But come in with very powerful Curse of Midnight Wind and Wind Blast. So let's get this battle underway. Any of these guys regiment around? Nope, just basic spearmen here. So both forces are going to start advancing. So the Cav game is certainly going to favour the Empire here, especially assisted by that steam tank. But the melee engagement probably going to be a bit of a wash for the High Elves. Lothran Seaguard will assist those spearmen and help them break through these swordsmen relatively quickly, I think. But I quite like this build from Ronin. Okay, I'll come down. I love it. Crumbs for the duck god. Yes, yes, Pacta. I love it. I love it indeed. The ducks are slowly swarming and taking over. Battle of Thermopylae, indeed. But, it's interesting. It's, oh god, crumbling ruins. It's going to be very interesting to see how this battle plays out. I think the Empire forces are going to come down this middle, and they're going to take the battle here, which would be probably a better way of playing. I mean, the crossbowmen and handgunners shooting down off these cliffs would be pretty horrifying to face against. Empire Knights are starting to rally now. Okay, I won't attack in this moment of weakness. Okay, he's going to chill out. The Empire forces are kind of quite spread out now as they do try and move down. So nice play by both players here as they just let them reorganise to both fight on the low ground, which should be quite nice. Well, I've got a sneaky suspicion that these Pistoliers and Empire Knights of Ronin are certainly going to stay on the high ground, wait for the ground forces to emerge, and then, you know, swoop up and around and so forth. But I'm sure, you know, Pacta, a very experienced player, can probably estimate the amount of value that is here on display and realise, you know, something's a little bit fishy here. There's certainly more units in hiding, and he'll predict some of the forest positioning. Rolf, you should have taken the other way. Yeah, they're slowly marching down here. But we get to see some glorious troop movements. These Empire Knights swagging quite brazenly here forward. Looks like they will show no fear in the face of some puny, pointy-eared high elf princelings. And handgunners backing them up as well. But no, they're all looking good, getting ready and warmed up. So in the trees we have a steam tank, which was brilliant, and Reichsguard mixing with the Pistoliers as well. Probably going to swing by on the flank, but hopefully he managed to spot these Silver Helms of Pacta waiting in the wings. More Silver Helms protecting that back line, which is going to be pretty good. And yeah, frontline engagement, I expect the High Elves is going to go relatively well. I mean, swordsmen will cut through spearmen. White lines of chains, a different matter, especially Lothar and Seaguard involved as well. And if we see any of those wind blasts now, a Curse of Midnight Wind at the correct time in a big cav engagement could certainly swing the Silver Helms, you know, unfavoured matchup here, just because how unnumbered they are. With Tyrion in front of the mix, could certainly help, but could also bait out a final transmutation, unfortunately. Those infantry look so juicy. They do indeed. All these spearmen marking down the hill. Unfortunately, there's no drummers. So on tabletop, you had drummers and banner bearers as well, which did different things. Drummers allowed you to reform your ranks, and if the battle was a tie, you would actually end up winning, I believe. And the banners gave you like +1 to the end of the combat. But I wish you could have a, maybe not an upgrade, but maybe just one guy holding a banner would look glorious. Like instead of having the banner like this guy actually holds the banner would be kind of cool. And maybe a drummer as well. I don't think they'd have to give any, you know, pluses and bonuses, but it could just be some good fun. You're flanking me. Hey, hey, you're flanking me. I'm attacking now. All right, cool, cool. And those Pistoliers do start to loop around. Looks like Tyrion leading the Silver Helms, which certainly could turn the tide in the cav engagement, with Tyrion being a very powerful foe indeed. But it looks like the swordsman now desperately trying to dash as quickly as possible to the aid of his Empire Knights. And a problem here for Ronin, these swordsmen and these handgunners are certainly out of position. But it looks like the High Elves are going to pull back anyway and take a bit more of a defensive approach wide of all this cav coming from their rear. Should be good fun. Who's your money on? I've had to play this on ladder as well, didn't recognise the name. Yes, the map. It's actually quite a cool map. I mean, I wouldn't use this in tournaments personally, because of all the problems that can start, but it is fairly balanced. I mean, both forces can take the high ground, but I think that just happens so often. And you get problems like this where both players are kind of reorganising for so long. But we're not in a rush here. Well, we are a little bit, but not, you know, this is the last game. We can just sit here and enjoy this. And it's quite a nice map from Raptor considering it's not one. Oh, a very devastating wind blast. Very well caught there. Great micromanagement by Pacta. Caught the two units as they passed each other. Getting some cheeky value down there. Balthasar moving forward as well. Maybe looking for a final transmutation. A bit early here, perhaps. Is going to catch... Oh no, it's yeah, final transmutation. Looks like it actually just hits. I mean, Lothar and Seaguard are getting the damage from it, but it doesn't come up on the tooltip. But he is having to fall away here, and is an extended one as well, and he doesn't have the healing. He only gets the healing when he's below a certain health, but taking huge damage there. So Lothar and Seaguard are also going to start to fire into the ranks of the swordsmen, who aren't having the best day so far. That Empire and the Cav, though, in the distance is very scary right now. It's that constant looming threat. The steam tank, though, taking a while to get round, so perhaps the battle will be decided before then. Ronin certainly needs to attack as one force here. Empire Knights do charge into some spearmen, but very quickly reacts to the counter-charge in Silver Helms from Pacta, who also reacts before deciding, you know what, I'm going to charge into the swordsman, and crush their ranks, break their charge, and a really nice, good micro play by both players there, which is always good to see. Swordsmen in the front line do have Glistening Robe popped on them, but the handgun has been dragged down by arrow fire as well, as the Empire Knights, Reichsguard and Pistoliers and all those good things do start to line up in the back line here. But do we have more knights hidden in the trees? No, we do not. So I think is on display. Crossbowmen being slaughtered here by Lothar and Seaguard. Some swordsmen are getting into the back line, but these white lines of chase probably going to move in and help break those guys and shut them down. And things are going relatively good for the High Elves so far, in my opinion. I mean, they've taken a few losses, and Tyrion taking that much damage is actually quite bad. Empire Knights charging into the front line, trying to shut down the Lothar and Seaguard, but in come the Silver Helms in a nice counter-charge. We do have a Curse of Midnight Wind coming in as well, lowering their armour and melee attack of these guys. These Empire Knights need to fall back. They're taking an absolute hammering as we speak. Steam Tank decides to go into combat, and these poor Silver Helms, Plague of Rust pops in them, desperately trying to hold off the Reichsguard. They're going to get dragged down so quickly here, taking away the mobility of the High Elf forces. Steam Tank doing a very decent job running over white lines here, and he's going to be a pain to take down. Tyrion can do it in extended combat, but it's going to be hard to kind of isolate him, especially with these Pistoliers firing into the back line. Empire Knights doing a decent job in the front line now, as Lothar and Seaguard just continuously fighting, the arrows slowly dragging down at these swordsmen. But it looks like the Empire are starting to break through here, but on this flank things are going a little bit worse. So Balthasar Gelt also taking a bit of damage. Reichsguard though charging to the rear of these white lines, really trying to break them down. Tyrion probably needs to swoop around and assist in dragging those guys down, but it looks like he's on the hunt for that Balthasar Gelt booty, and Balthasar Gelt can't escape the Lothar and Seaguard in time, and he's going to be starting taking rear hits here, and I don't know if he's going to be able to escape this. Tyrion is incredibly fast, but looks like, oh no, the attack animations may have slowed him down there, and the Balthasar Gelt gets back up in the air. That could have been a disaster for the Empire forces, where the rest of the battle not going too bad for them. One unit of the White Lines has been driven off, as well as these Lothar and Seaguard, but this unit has managed to get some decent counter-skirmish against the Pistoliers, and Ronan hasn't noticed yet. Does start to pull those guys away, but not before they've taken quite a few nasty volleys. Nice Wind Blast comes in as well, doing decent damage to the Swordsmen, but it won't do much to the Empire Knights, who are against Spearmen here, though, and Silver Helms, so not in the best engagement for them either. That's pretty close overall. Lothar and Seaguard firing into handgunners, which is a really nice pick by them, dragging down these lightly armoured fellows. As you can see, they're full of arrows dragging down. Some of these guys are fighting still with 2 arrows in them, doing their best Boromir impression, but unfortunately, I don't think the help is on its way. Tyrion once again hit by a final transmutation, which is so rough for him, but if he does get below an, I believe it's 20% health, without breaking, he will get that huge healing proc, so it may be good late game if he does manage to stick around. Silver Helm's been used very effectively, very defensively, but it's worked well, breaking down some Reichsguard, forcing them off, and now we just have a couple of units of Pistoliers left back here. And Silver Helm should be able to roll around, countercharge the Empire Knights with Tyrion, and try and win that mobility, and then force kind of basically a big blob fight, which would probably serve him pretty well. Steam Tank, though, what is here to take down the Steam Tank? White Lines aren't the worst, because they have armor piercing, and Tyrion perhaps. But it's going to be tough, especially late game if he has to blob up on them, and there's another final transmutation in the tank by Balthasar Gelt. It could be a bit disastrous here. In the back line, looks like White Line's chase shattered, and his Lothar and Seaguard certainly won't be coming back to the game. Nice diligent play here by Ronan, forcing those troops off and getting some really decent value. More Empire Knights being dragged down here by Tyrion, who does have Plague of Rust currently popped on him. But handgunners, they're getting a few shots in, but they are pretty beat up themselves. Steam Tank rolling over as well. Very close game. Good game to end on indeed. And balance of power going quite heavily in favour of the Empire. But that is because Tyrion is so low. But if he does get that health proc, I think this will be a much more even fight. It's going to be very interesting to see if he breaks beforehand, because I find Tyrion breaks way too often before that thing does come into play. Nice play by Pax though, breaking into the back line here, hopping onto these handgunners, easily going to run them over, and to be honest, sweep around here, taking down the crossbowmen as well. Some spearmen guarding the pass here, the true 300 here, the 31, need to come down off their pass though and engage these crossbowmen. In the main fights here, Empire Knights doing a decent job overall, 67 kills, are being dragged down now by consistent fighting with the White Lines. Pistoliers should get some decent working, but another Wind Blast coming in, doing such good value from that spell onto the Swordsman. Balthasar Gelt going for a risky charge down on the Mage, who is up to 57 kills in, but in comes Tyrion, pops all his buffs here, and he's going to get 1 or 2 decent attacks here, you'd expect. Big slash there, bringing Balthasar Gelt down to about half health. And you can see Tyrion has got that healing proc as well, bringing the balance power back to even. He does try to escape in the Steam Tank here, but he can do some decent damage to it if he stays in combined combat, but probably wants some help from some fellow friends. And Mage, wavering, but just about going to be able to escape in time and stay in the fight. White Lines of Chase need to go over here with their armor piercing to try and take down the Steam Tank. Spearman coming in as well. But if Balthazar Gelt has that transmutation, that could win him the game here if he's dragging in these troops. Fantastic play here by Pacta and these Silver Helms. Look how many troops he has managed to clear up just with one unit, up to 125 kills. That's some crazy stuff. Looks like Pacta's also quite aware that perhaps a transmutation is in the bank. Haven't seen Gelt do too many more spells. Actually, he's dropped a couple of Plague of Rusts and stuff. Maybe he doesn't have enough Winds of Magic, but he is constantly on that hunt for that Mage of Heavens. Steam Tank slowly starting to lose health as well. Does not want to be in sustained combat with the white lines of chase. Swordsman trying to come to his aid, but taking too much damage. Lothar and Sigurd as well are going to drive these Pistolets as well, who are taking sustained missile fire here. But Balthazar Gelt sees to that and starts routing off some units. Very close game, really good game here to end off the stream. These Silver Helms, though, still relatively healthy. Can probably finish off these Pistolets. Actually, they might be a little bit tricky. They are relatively fast. So it looks like they're going to turn around and come back to the main engagement. White lines of chase now, with the help of Tyrion, doing a real number on this Steam Tank. And that's causing a lot of problems here for Ronan and the Empire forces. He's trying to rally where he can, but Lothar and Sigurd still have a decent amount of ammunition left. Force them off and breaking units where he can. Balance of power for the first time in favour of the High Elf forces. Major Heavens just chilling out here. Waiting to be sniped, but not going to be doing too bad. And it looks like we do have a transmutation coming down, perhaps. Tyrion just about manages to escape. Is it a transmutation? Looks like Gelt was a little far away. Don't come back in, Tyrion, no! Don't know what's going on here. Oh no, it's a Curse of Midnight Wind. That is much better here for the Hells. Pops that Curse of Midnight Wind and drags down the Steam Tank, which goes down in glorious fashion. And with that, even if he manages to pop a transmutation here, there is no way. There is no way for the Empire to win this, I don't think. Pistolets can come in, do a little bit of kiting, and maybe try and drag down Silver Helms where possible, but what realistically here is going to deal with Tyrion. Balthazar Gelt certainly not going to be able to do it in combat. Maybe he has one or two more spells in the tank. Lothar and Sigurd rallying from the trees as well. They managed to regain their breath. And, take 5 minutes and realise that they were disappointed in the almighty Tyrion, and it's time to come back into action. Balance power now fading even more as Pistolets do get finally broken and forced off, and it looks like it is Geltmeister himself against the world. He's going to be charging into these Lothar and Sigurd, but looks like trying to pick them off. Oh no. Looks like Tyrion does pop Foe Seeker as well. We have some rallying troops in distance, some swordsmen, 17 swordsmen, we think. Oh no, it's these guys over here. Let's see who they are. Even better, we have 17 handgunners who think, you know what, lads, we've got this. Unfortunately, Balthazar Gelt, though, does charge into some Lothar and Sigurd. Just the mere presence of Tyrion breaks him and forces him off. What a game! What's up, Darth Pendragon? Hope you're doing all good, my dude. Still a close game, yeah? Very close game. So many High Elves today. We've seen a ton of High Elves and a ton of Chaos. Really well played by two factions. We don't see massively often on the channel. A lot of people think High Elves are kind of, quite bad, which High Elves are kind of my go-to faction if I don't know what my opponent's going to pick. I think they are decent in most matchups. I don't have too many, really hard counters. I love the Steam Tank. I love Balthazar Gelt, but it wasn't quite enough. And these Silver Helms, really great backline protection. 164 kills, just cleaning up, the dregs as they did start to break and run away. Ronan did that as well with Pistolets, so really top tier game overall and great play. GG. Crazy close game, indeed. Great game to end it on. I wanted to buff Gelt, but he said no. Damn Steam Tank. Steam Tank did bits. I've had we're going to get a replay soon of my hatred of Steam Tanks. Not hatred, I love them, but wanted to force me down. Was that the last one? Yes. You are this week's king. All hail! So Pacta ends this week as the king of this King of the Hill, but we cannot forget Noob for Life, the retired king, who went with the longest win streak actually with 3. I believe Pacta got 2, right? Yeah, Pacta got 2. Suave also became king as well for a brief stint, but Noob for Life undefeated king here with 3 wins in a row, but Pacta coming at the end there, stealing that crown, but I'm sure Noob for Life will come out of retirement soon and fight back. You ducks bow to no one. See you lads, no worries man. Thank you for playing. Thanks for playing, dude. Great King of Hill, as always, Lucky. Much appreciated, Pacta. Hope you had a good time. We will see those guys soon. So thank you guys for tuning in. That was the last game. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them now. And yeah, we're just going to wrap it up now. I'll give it 2 or 3 minutes just while you guys in chat catch up. And we'll sort this out. So I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, just on your way out the door, if you would consider hitting that like button and that subscribe button, it super helps out the channel and it helps us grow. And we're up to like 370 people now, or subscribers, which is really cool. But I think like still like 50% of people or something aren't subscribed to like watch, so hit that button, feel free. There's no cost. It's all good, don't fear. I won't send little duck assassins after you, although duck assassins would be kind of cool actually. But yeah, and if you want to play in King of the Hills like this in the future, like these fine gentlemen just did and put on such a great show for us, feel free to join the Discord in the description below, and you can also find a Patreon account there. Thanks for the stream, Ducky. Great as always. No Wise Noob for life. Thank you, King, for getting that good wing streak. And always some good maps as well. Some good different maps to play. Some meme ones, and some ones I'm probably going to incorporate into future tournaments. But looks like we're all good, so I'm going to peace out, guys. I'm going to go grab some food, replenish before getting these recordings done for tomorrow and heading to bed. So until next time, guys, peace, and stay awesome.